The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
Standard Heating and Air Conditioning wants to wish you a happy holiday season and wants to let you know that Standard Heating is ready if you face a heating emergency. Their expert team is available through the holidays to make sure you stay warm and safe, no matter what. Become a Smart Club member so that you'll have peace of mind knowing that you're covered for the upcoming winter season. For more info or 24/7 emergency heating services, call 612-824-2656. Comfort you deserve since 1930.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93.
Fair enough. Appreciate it. Welcome to day 2 of our Ultimate F-Off week here on the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. She is a Tuesday morning. Sitting just to my left, Josh over there. How you doing, son?
Good. How about yourself? Happy to see you guys.
That's very nice of you to say. Josh, are you a crimbophiliac?
I have a lot of phobias and philias, but I don't have that one.
Okay. I just learned about that this morning. Crimbophilia. I believe I'm saying it out loud. That means that Christmas turns you on.
I enjoy it, but I certainly don't get aroused by it. As a matter of fact, there'd be a tremendous amount of guilt with the association with Jesus.
You've mentioned that.
I don't, sure, the guy's shirtless and ripped. We've all seen it. We've seen him before, but yeah, I don't get aroused.
Okay.
No hanky-panky for Josh on Christmas.
Nope, not even Christmas Eve.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, then you're obviously not a crimbophiliac. I just know you love Christmas a lot, and I was wondering if maybe it bled into, a little more of a perverted side of you that we didn't know. But you're right. You recently mentioned that you don't get fresh with the wife anywhere near Christmas because out of respect for Jesus Christ.
That's correct.
All right. No crimbophilia.
I also heard that Jesus does not get fresh on your birthday either, Josh.
That's kind of him.
Out of respect for you.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. There's also apparently Santaphilia, people who get turned on by the thought of Santa Claus.
Yeah, there's a couple of those ladies in the movie series Bad Santa.
I'm sorry?
And have you ever seen Bad Santa?
Oh, no, never saw it.
There's a couple ladies in there that when they are having sex with Santa, they very much like that it's Santa Claus.
Okay.
It
Sure.
comes up quite a bit during the act.
Tough gig, being Santa Claus. I ran into him Sunday morning.
Santa?
Yeah, I went to breakfast at a joint in my neighborhood, and he was wandering around the restaurant saying hi to people.
How's he doing?
You ask him for anything?
He seemed a little worn out. No. We just said hello. I told him that I'd always wanted to meet him. Tough gig. It kind of reminded me, you ever go to one of those Italian restaurants where there's a guy going table to table singing songs to you?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I've never seen that, like in an Olive Garden or Buca or something.
They don't let me in places like that.
Well, no. It's not a fancy joint. This was a joint on 394 and Hopkins Crossroads for many years. It was Italian, however you say it. What the hell? Common joint, average joint. Someone text me. What the hell was the name of that place? 394 Hopkins Crossroads. And the guy could sing. Don't get me wrong. But even to me, he appeared to have a look on his face where he was saying, how the hell did I end up here?
I've definitely seen that with singers at restaurants or a particular place where if you tipped them, they all had to sing. And I felt so bad for them because you knew they were miserable.
Oh, the birthday singers? They're just so going through the motions.
Oh, no, dude, I loved that when I worked in a restaurant. I loved singing happy birthday to people.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
They always knew to come and get me because I was going to be ready.
You'll do it.
Did your coworkers feel the same?
Hell
Because
no.
a lot of them, to me, look dead in their eyes.
Yeah.
Maybe one of them every now and then, but for the most part, they were not happy, no.
Oh, yeah. Where I worked, they absolutely hated it. So I would sing it in the kitchen.
Just to be a dick?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what was the gimmick? I'm not following you.
It was like someone's birthday. So
Sure.
then, all the servers come to the back and then they make the line, the conga line, where they come out singing a happy birthday song.
Before they would come out to sing the song, they would gather in the back with you cooks. Is that what you're saying?
Well, yeah, they would kind of start back there and then they would walk around the whole restaurant and then go to the table. And every single server hated doing it. So then I started singing in the kitchen.
Okay.
I mean, does anybody who has it's your birthday, aren't you praying nobody says anything about it being
Absolutely.
your birthday for that reason?
Nah. I like it.
You like it?
Yeah,
I would say it's got to be the vast majority of people on either side of that transaction despise it.
I think I'm very rare. Yeah.
My mom loves it because then you get the free dessert.
I'll pay for my own dessert.
I know.
Avoid all the awkwardness.
Maybe that's why they created the gimmick, to embarrass people and just be dicks. I don't know.
But if you did it to my mom, she hated it. But she always does it to us. It's not fair.
Your mom's funny like that. Ashley enjoyed doing the organized singing gimmick at the restaurant. I can see that. Macaroni Grill is the name of the joint where years ago you could sit down and have a nice dinner and there'd be a dude singing his nuts off in Italian.
Oh, I used to go to Macaroni Grill, and I never saw that. I must have gone on an off time or something.
Who knows if it was a regular thing. It's not like I was there every Friday night. I went there a handful of times, and maybe half the time this guy was singing. And I got the same vibe from Santa, who I ran into, like I said, Sunday morning at a local cafe. Not the biggest place in the world either. And here's where I also felt bad for Santa. He looked tired. He looked hungover. It's a Sunday morning. He's, how hard is it for any of us to be all talkative and uppity on a Sunday morning? But here's this guy, right? It's a small joint, so everyone can hear that he's dumping the same jokes on every table. You know what I mean? Everything he said to me and my friggin' wife, he also said to the table that was 4 feet away from us. Same routine. And I thought, God, I bet he does not want to be doing this.
Not at all.
It's not. There's only so much Christmas material for a guy to work with.
And I bet he's been using those for years.
Yeah.
Years after years.
I kind of felt bad for the guy. You would think he'd retire by now. Pass it on to somebody else. All right, here's more for you Christmas dorks.
If the wife were to put on a Mrs. Claus outfit, that might be kind of cool, I don't have a Santa-philia, but maybe a Mrs. Claus-philia, that type of thing.
Well, you were saying on Halloween you were hoping she was going to get filthy. Now you're saying you're hoping some filth. I thought you didn't want Christmas filth.
Well, after Christmas.
After Christmas.
Yeah, I've been very clear. No Christmas Eve, no Christmas, but before or afterwards, we're good.
Before or afterwards.
Yeah.
What about Christmas Eve?
That's ridiculous. I'm not a freak.
Here's more for you Christmas folks. What do I have here? The worst Christmas movie ever is Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2.
I love those movies strictly for the nudity.
The best Christmas movie ever is It's a Wonderful Life. A lot of nudity in Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2.
In the whole series in general, I remember there being a lot of nudity.
What about in It's a Wonderful Life?
Oh, so much sex.
I've never seen that.
Yeah, how is
either.
it not Elf?
Never saw it.
Elf's
It's a Wonderful Life all the way through either. What about Elf?
I absolutely love that Christmas movie.
It's on the list.
I think
my
it's one of the
favorite
best.
movie.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go through the whole list. I just don't have it in me. You know what I mean, Josh?
You don't?
No.
I mean, what about the top 10? You got that in?
Oh, God. I just get so... We've been in radio too long. I just get tired of this stuff. Okay, the top 10 best Christmas movies. Number 10, Rudolph and his nose so bright. The red-nosed reindeer. You know the gimmick.
Seen a lot of previews for that lately. Or commercials, I guess would be the better way to put it.
Yeah, it was on a few nights ago. Number 9, this is best Christmas movies. The Year Without Santa Claus. That's a 1974 picture.
Haven't seen that one.
Number 8, The Muppet Christmas Carol.
Never saw that one either.
Number 7, here's that bad Santa character you were telling me about.
Enjoyed that quite a bit. Billy Bob Thornton is perfect in it, like he is in the current series Landman on Paramount Plus.
Yep.
That's very good.
I love how he was drunk when he was filming that most of the time.
He in real life?
Yeah, there was a lot of scenes that he was actually drunk, like the elevator scene where he falls down the elevator.
Well, I was going to say, he plays a very good drunk.
Escalator, sorry. Yeah.
So that must be the case. So you're saying he was drunk. That's why he was so good at it?
Yeah, a lot of the times he was hammered.
Number 6, Love Actually.
I didn't know that was a Christmas
Me
movie, and I
either.
haven't seen that one either.
That can be fun.
Number 5, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, 1966. That must be...
That was the classic.
Yeah,
We
the
used to
OG.
watch that every year.
4, Elf. 3, A Charlie Brown Christmas. I'm sure I bumped into that at one point or another. 2, A Christmas Story. And then, like I said, number 1 is It's a Wonderful Life. Now, here's the bad Christmas movies from 10 to 1. I gave you number 1 is Silent Night, Deadly Night, Part 2. Number 10, Jack Frost 2, Revenge of the Mutant Killer Snowman. Number 9, A Christmas Story, Part 2. Number 8, Santa Claus, CLAWS. He must kill everybody.
Jeez. Scary.
Kills everybody in town. As my guest. Number 7, Santa with Muscles, a movie that came out in 1996.
I'm going to put that on my list.
Missed that one.
Number 6, Jingle All the Way, Part 2.
They made a part 2?
What? How did I not know they made a part 2?
Nobody knew they made a Part 2. That's why it made the list. Number 5, A Karate Christmas Miracle.
Another one I need to watch over vacation.
Okay, that
awesome.
That I generally, as you heard a minute ago, I'm burned out on Christmas movies and Christmas songs and all that stuff. But A Karate Christmas Miracle sounds interesting to me.
It looks like Santa with Muscles had Hulk Hogan in it. That was Santa.
I'll go with it.
That's sweet.
I'll go with it. We're rolling through the worst Christmas movies ever. Number 4, Last Ounce of Courage. That sounds like a tearjerker. First time I heard that term was when I was about a 10-year-old kid, maybe 11-year-old kid. E.T. had just hit the movie theaters. And we had an uncle, well, he's still around. There was one uncle in our family who would take us to movies. My parents almost would never get involved in such a thing. And sure, we could go to some movies on our own. But I remember approaching my uncle and saying, "Hey, would you take us to go see E.T.?" And he said, "No way." And I was thrown by that because it seemed like everyone on planet Earth wanted to go see E.T. And I said, "Why don't you want to go see E.T.?" And he said, "Because I heard it's a real tearjerker."
Boy, it sure was.
is,
I remember
yeah.
me and my brother and sister bawling when we watched that movie as little kids.
And he didn't want to cry in front of us kids because he thought, that we thought he was a tough guy.
My
Okay.
wife won't watch crying movies.
Crying movies.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're
really?
having to deal with you guys crying too.
Oh,
The uncle, like, oh no, how do I make this stop?
We gutted it out. When I watched E.T. as an 11-year-old, I was rooting for the government. I wanted them to cut him up.
That doesn't surprise me
Let's
at
find
all.
out. I was yelling in my seat. Let's find out what makes this sumbitch tick. Kill him. I was on the government side during E.T. I don't know about the rest of you.
You love the government.
Yeah. What are we doing? Worst Christmas movies. We left off at number 4, Last Ounce of Courage. Someone look that up. Everyone must die in that one. Number 3, just a movie called Santa Claus from 1959. Okay. Number 2, Elves from 1989. So there you go. Hopefully you wrote some of those down if you want to watch.
I looked up Jingle All the Way 2, stars Larry the Cable Guy, and was produced by the WWE.
Oh, okay. I have seen previews for that.
Oh, it rang a bell. I remember. Sure, I remember a little bit about that.
So, Last Ounce of Courage. I understand why they say this movie sucks. It says the synopsis here is after the death of the main character's son, the mayor of Mount Columbus has to deal with politicians removing Christmas and starts a controversial protest.
Wow.
That sounds riveting. Christmas and politics sounds perfect.
Man.
That's right up my alley.
Scenic Mo Job Guy says that he wants to know where Christmas Vacation is in the top 10. It's not in the top 10 of the best Christmas movies. It finished at 18th.
Wow.
18th.
Scrooged on there, Die Hard, The Nightmare Before Christmas, Trading Places, Home Alone, also on the list of the best Christmas movies.
There you go.
Gremlins was on there. I've never seen that all the way through.
Oh, you could probably skip it.
Yeah, I think I will.
Yeah, I think you're good at this point, Josh.
You'll be all right.
Yeah, I think your life's doing just fine without it.
Oh, I don't know about that. It's unrelated to not seeing the Gremlins.
Well, but then again, you'd probably fall in love with Gizmo.
Yeah,
Gizmo
he's
is
cute.
cute.
The little bits I've seen of Gizmo, he seems all right.
Like the rest of us, you'll fall in love with Gizmo. Okay, the worst Christmas song of all time. This is according to the folks at USA Today. The Chipmunks song, Christmas Don't Be Late.
Oh, Alvin and the Chipmunks? Yeah, throw that all away.
I understand, but boy, did I love Alvin and the Chipmunks as a kid.
Oh, that cartoon was so magical.
Well, I think Josh is referencing the records.
It's just the records,
Yeah.
I
I
never
just
watched the
watched
cartoon too much.
No, I never saw the cartoon.
Yeah, it was more my wheelhouse for my age.
Yeah, I just
loved
got the
those
movies.
You got the movies?
Yeah, and that was so annoying.
I didn't like the movies.
They made $10 million. $10 billion, I think. I have it in front of me. The Chipmunks made $10 billion in the early 80s. And what did they do, Josh? They just sped up the voices and sang the hits.
Genius.
I still have a Chipmunks record at my house. I think it was 1980. And all they did was speed up the voices, obviously, and sing the best hits of 1980. And the records were flying off the shelves. How simple and stupid were we as children? So they're on the record as My Sharona by the Knack, Physical by Olivia Newton-John, something by the Cars, something by... That's just what they did. Yeah, we're the Chipmunks. That's what we are. Oh, God, I got to go get the record.
I never knew they existed before the movies. You guys kind of just blew my mind, to be honest. I thought that they were like a my generation
Like
kind
a
of
new
thing.
creation?
Yeah.
You had to be there. You did. Maybe I could find that record on the internet real quick.
I absolutely love those albums.
That's all you needed when you were a little kid was just some little high voices and picturing Chipmunks singing the latest
It was
hit
brilliant.
single. Yeah.
The Rod said you can watch Gremlins. I should watch Gremlins just to see Phoebe Cates. She is attractive.
Was she the one who took her top off in Fast Times?
Yep.
Here it is. Chipmunk Punk was the name of the record. I got to find the track listing. And on the cover of the record, you know, kind of they're doing a cliche. This is kind of clever, I got to admit it. They're doing a cliche punk rock kind of a photo. The Chipmunks are, Alvin, Theodore, and what was the other one? Waldo or something?
Alvin Theodore.
Simon.
Oh,
Simon.
thank you.
Yeah, there you go.
And they're kind of posing in front of a brick wall, right? Like a punk rock band. It's spray painted on the wall. It says Chipmunk Punk. And they got a guitar leaning up against a trash can. And they're all kind of looking broke. I'll give them credit for that. What was the Here we go. Oh, I was right. They do Let's Go by the Cars. Couple that I don't remember. Refugee by Tom Petty. Call Me by, what did you call that blonde gal? Blondie. You May Be Right, Billy Joel. Crazy Little Thing Called Love by Queen. And My Sharona. And I bought the damn thing. Let's
My
find out.
Sharona, I remember distinctly listening to that over and over and over.
I got to hear what My Sharona sounds like sped up a little bit. What a bunch of suckers we were. That's a beautiful thing. All right. It's time to get some exercise around here at the radio station. I'm donating my Pop-A-Shot basketball game to the station.
No way.
So get ready.
That's cool.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
I brought it in
It'll
today.
also be very short-lived if somebody's going to walk out with it within 2-3 days.
Tough to walk out with it, I'll tell you that, Josh, because moving it from my house over here was a pain in the damn ass. But you're right, it's in jeopardy. It's in danger already, and it hasn't even been set up yet.
Well, our engineer came in the other day. He's like, hey, I was pretty excited. I got some brand new equipment. Somebody stole it. Gone within a day.
I hate this place. Nothing works here. Brought it in today, my Pop-A-Shot. No room in the house for it anymore, and that's okay. I've had it for quite a few years. It's in pieces right now, so we're going to need, Ashley, after the show, we're going to need a pliers and an Allen wrench.
All right.
And we'll be all set to play.
Mine's in pieces as well, so maybe this will inspire me to put ours back together.
Is it difficult to put together?
No.
It will be for me, because I can't remember how I took it apart last night. The rest of you might be able to figure it out on site. It will be difficult for me to put back together. Why is yours broken down in the first place?
We took it down because with some of the work we were having done, we had to take it down. But we haven't put it back up yet. It's been sitting there for a month or two.
Yeah, you know.
It's kind of how those things work.
You mastered the game.
It's fun.
I hope we can have some fun in here, setting it up. Maybe it'll pick up morale in the building. You know how I'm concerned about things like that.
You're concerned about other people? Absolutely.
Always,
Absolutely you are.
Always have been.
Yeah, I miss getting trash talked by those announcers.
Oh, yeah, don't they rip you when you miss shots, like a couple in a row, Josh?
Yeah.
And do you often miss a couple shots in a row?
Yes.
That's cool. I wanted to hear that.
I have a side-by-side one, and I've been getting pretty good at getting it in the other hoop.
Oh, and it bounces off the rim up and over?
So at least it gets in one. I also have taken a lot of popcorn off the ceiling there. Just scraping it up. A little too much of an arc.
Basketball has been the preferred sport in this building at this radio station for many, many years. Josh, do you remember in the old building in Golden Valley, we set up just one of those little hoops for a 2-year-old? You know what I'm talking about?
The little plastic hoops?
Yeah, the little plastic one. Although we were able to extend the sumbitch to where it was a little more doable for full-grown people. I can't remember how we kind of rigged it up. So it was somewhat doable for fully grown people. And we had some friggin' spirited games at the old radio station. I don't know, we were all young. And I got raked across the hand. I got fouled so hard playing stupid kiddie basketball in the basement of the old radio building in Golden Valley. I got fouled so hard, I still have a scar on my hand from that.
Playing basketball.
So dumb.
That's awesome.
Some dude, we were playing in the basement. Some dude, he's one of these guys that never trims his nails. He's like a friggin' bobcat.
Oh, gross. He's Wolverine.
And the sumbitch fouls me. I remember it's pouring blood. I still got the scar right here. And then we had a pop-a shot. Oh, down the hall, didn't we, Josh?
Yep.
The original studio we broadcasted from, we had a pop-a shot. Played almost every day. And then I don't know whatever happened to that one. That one may have been stolen, like you were saying
Could have
earlier.
been. Because we've had a couple things, right? We had people steal stuff. That's overwhelming. And nobody works here anymore, but it still happens somehow. And then the other thing is we'd have angry engineers that just one day would decide, for no reason, this is gone.
You're right.
We hate happiness.
You're right. You're right.
No fun.
We had some posters on the wall that they took down without our, what's the word I'm looking for, permission, because they didn't approve of them. Yeah, we had some.
Not even just saying, hey, not a warning. I mean, even a warning would be nice. Like, hey, guys, we can't do this for this or that reason, but just taking it and then kind of an F-you attitude when we asked, you know what happened to it?
Yeah, you're right. I suppose the dickhead engineers just took my old Papa Shot game, just took it away.
I could see our new engineer, who's actually our very old engineer, not that he's old, but we had him a long time ago, best in the business. I could see him coming in and going, you know what, these posters, not dirty enough. Come on, let's sex it up a little bit in here.
I think that was the problem, was we had a Britney Spears poster up on the wall.
And there's some wrestlers covered in blood.
Yeah, that's right.
That was the one that really set him off.
We had a Britney Spears poster. She's wearing all of her friggin' clothes.
Yeah, she was clothed.
It was the same poster that would hang on a 12-year-old girl's friggin' wall,
right.
At the time. They took it down because they said it was too dirty. Right, and then we had some great wrestling posters from, local shows. Local shows where you can just take, you go to First Ave, see a wrestling show, take the poster off the wall. Maybe we shouldn't have done that, but then we'd hang it in the building. And some of them were very bloody. That's right. The engineers decided that was too violent to have on the wall.
And those giant banners, I don't know if they still hang them at the X, but they used to of Wild players.
Yep.
We had one of those of Stefan Bayou, and somebody took that down, too, out of anger.
Oh, God.
That thing was massive.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
It took up a whole wall. It looked awesome. It looked so cool. And the Wild were so nice to gift that to us. And it was our boss at the time. He just decided, I don't want that in here.
Oh,
in a room he never goes in.
The boss who used to comb his hair with a sponge?
Long hair?
Oh, no hair.
Long hair guy.
Long hair.
Yeah.
Oh, then I know who you're talking about.
What a D-bag.
Oh, yeah. You know why he didn't like sports? Because every time when he was a kid, he always got his ass kicked. So, yeah, when we would be too sportsy, he didn't like that because when he was a kid, he'd say, "Yay, football," and then he'd get his ribs broke, But the Papa Shot, my old Papa Shot that we had, or our old Papa Shot that we had down the hall when we first moved into this building, an all-time Golden Gopher basketball player shot hoops with me on that sumbitch, didn't he, Josh?
He did.
The Moondog,
Yeah.
Dusty Reichert.
Oh, sweet.
Dusty came in, studio, and we went head-to-head in a game of Papa Shot. I had the sumbitch. I did. I had him. I had him beat. And I let him off the hook.
Entertainer C Willi Myles is going to join us today. He's an athlete. I know he's mentioned football, but did he ever play basketball? Has he ever brought that up?
Let's ask him. I don't remember.
I didn't know if he was a dual sport athlete or not.
I do not remember.
We've got high ceilings in here, so we could really get some arc on it.
I was thinking about that the other day when I was walking through that cavernous room over there.
You were thinking about Papa Shot?
No, just get a basketball hoop. I'm like, you could easily get a 10-foot hoop in here, no problem.
We could put a real one up if we wanted. Yeah, that's one bonus that I did not have at home. Talking about moving my personal Papa Shot from my house here into the building. That's one bonus is I was not afforded much of an arc at my house. Where around here, I could put the old Bob Cousy on that sumbitch, really a real rainbow, and we'll be all right.
I remember in middle school getting ripped on for throwing up bricks, right? And I had to ask my cousin, what does that mean when people say And, it helps you a little bit when you got low ceilings and Papa Shot. Now who's left?
Now you're
now there's no arc. If I've had a couple where there's a little too much arc, not on purpose. But, yeah, some of those bricks are the ones that go in, just a little bit of a line drive.
You got it down at this point. All right, as Josh mentioned, world-class entertainer C Willi Myles will be popping by later, and his girlfriend, too, is coming with, Janel Klein. They'll both be swinging by to say hi to us today. So we'll try to put on a good show, by damn, to impress our friends and our listening audience. We got to take a break. We'll be back in a few minutes here on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
There's a douchiness to them. The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Standard Heating and Air Conditioning wants to wish you a happy holiday season and wants to let you know that Standard Heating is ready if you face a heating emergency. Their expert team is available through the holidays to make sure you stay warm and safe, no matter what. Become a Smart Club member so that you'll have peace of mind knowing that you're covered for the upcoming winter season. For more info or 24/7 emergency heating services, call 612-824-2656. Comfort you deserve since 1930.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Well, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can find options that fit your budget and potentially lower your bills. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
You met Lala Kent on Vanderpump Rules. Now Lala and her friends share everything on Give Them Lala.
First time that I've been away from Sosa. Day one of being gone all day.
Tell her the phone calls. So how far are you? Well, she's just like really hungry. All right.
I'm very proud of myself that I got through it, and very proud of you, Mom, that you
got through it as well.
Yeah.
We held the fort down. Watch what Lala is talking about on YouTube or search for Give Them Lala wherever you listen.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
We were jaw-jacking a few minutes ago about that old gimmick where, you go out summers looking for something or another to eat, and the servers at the bar and grill will sing to you on your birthday. They all gather up, and by damn, they sing their hearts out to you on your birthday. I mentioned I saw a guy going table to table singing in Italian at a restaurant one night, and he looked dead inside. The servers, Ashley says she liked it, but most servers that I think we've all talked to about the happy birthday gimmick, they friggin' hate it. You can see it on their faces. Got a text message here from a listener. Says there's a corn dog booth that he's run into now and again. And if you go to this corn dog booth, if you order a jalapeno corn dog, all of the workers have to shout, jalapeno.
Oh, that's great.
That's fun.
I mean, I guess we have something here where if we're ever supposed to take a group photo in some way, we scream out picture.
Pitcher.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a gimmick or two around here, too. So a guy says if you order a jalapeno corn dog, all the workers in unison have to shout, jalapeno.
That was our code word in restaurants.
For Christ's sake, I'm trying to finish the joke here. Sorry I blew up, but all of the workers have to shout jalapeno in unison, and our listener says, you can see the light has left their eyes years ago.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Years ago. Go ahead, Wapple. I apologize.
Jalapeno used to be our code word in the kitchen for if there was a hot mama out front.
Oh. Yeah, at the restaurant my buddy worked at, it was guacamole.
Yep.
That's the code, so the cooks knew to come out and take a peek.
Man. All right, here we go. With the stupid news. We all know the dangers of that company Christmas party. We've traded the horror stories many times on this here radio show. If you're not careful with your drinking, if you can't keep your stupid yap under control, you might just do something to get your ass fired at the company Christmas party. Josh, what's the story with Buckingham Palace? It's like the White House of England. They copied us on that one. We built the White House here in America, and those dopey English, they said, "Oi there, it's the White House, isn't it?" Right? And then they built their version of the White House and named it Buckingham. Do I have the...
the history might not be exactly correct, but I think you get the gist.
Buckingham Palace, they call it. So the staff that works at Buckingham Palace had their Christmas party a night or two ago. The palace staff, the maids and the grounds crew and the folks who wiped the king's ass and whatnot. They had a few cold ones at the actual palace. But I imagine it was like Caddy Day at the pool in the movie Caddyshack. The party was scheduled from 1 to 1:15. I'm guessing the party at the actual palace had to be pretty effing tame, so the staffers all went to a bar afterwards so they could really have some good old-fashioned English fun. And it went sideways for one of the maids. The maid was arrested after she allegedly went, quote, crazy at the bar for their Christmas party. As many as 50 of the royal servants, they call them here, were all gathered at a neighborhood bar, and the maid I was telling you about, just a 24-year-old gal, she came uncorked for some unknown reason. Well, I have a guess, but we'll get there. She threw hands at the bar manager, tried to beat his ass. She was tossing beer mugs at some bitches, so eventually she got choked out and arrested by the police, and she's looking at charges like this here: common assault, criminal damage, drunk and disorderly. She was released from jail after 24 hours. They let her dry out, and they sent her home. One witness at this Christmas party disaster said, "I've never seen one person get that crazy during a night out. She was on another level."
Yeah, I've never seen anything like that.
And now you got to assume that this poor gal, when she tries to go back to work at Buckingham Palace, she's going to get gassed. And maybe that's okay with her, because my guess is, Josh, possibly all of her drunken rage is maybe coming from how much she hates being kicked around by English douchebags while working there at silly Buckingham Palace.
I was thinking, there's a few motivations, right, for some of these. You got the disgruntled employee, certainly, that's just bitter, and they have a couple, and they're like, you know what, F all of you. And then there's also the person that doesn't get out too much, and this is their big event. They found a babysitter. They're out there. They're going to really tear it up. And then there's the person that kind of maybe by accident becomes that individual.
It can happen by accident.
Because at our Christmas party, I had 2 more drinks than I intended to have. And I thought, wow, that was so out of character.
Give us the number of drinks you intended to have.
0.
Okay.
Yeah, and I ended up with 2.
Yeah.
And so I thought, maybe, 2 drinks, I'm not going to change my personality dramatically, but I still thought, like, I was into the moment, peer pressure from Ashley. I was into the moment, and maybe I would have gone a little nuts had I had one more.
It as we all know, liquor can change a sumbitch. It just depends on how drastically.
And I guess for me, I forgot it was a work function. And I know having 2 drinks isn't that bad, but for me, it's different. And so I wonder if that happens too, where people are having a good time and they completely forget, oh no, I should probably be on some good behavior. This is a work deal.
All different angles we could take. Some folks get real nervous in those situations and they just rip them down. And before they know it, oh God, I'm hammered and now the boss is here,
Or spouses or significant others in some way getting a little crazy.
Oh, yeah.
If I've ever been too intoxicated in a public place, Nick, it usually has to do with the fact that I'm nervous. So I try to calm the nerves, and next thing I know, I'm like, wait, how many have I had?
I have two old buddies who still to this day, they're just socially awkward people. And when we go out, they bang down their first 3-4 beers like it's a $1,000 prize chug-a-lug contest, and it's all nerves. It's all nerves, and they're in some cases they're not even conscious of it. Well, I'll have to say, because one in particular, there's one of the two. Yeah, they get drunk, but they cause 0 problems. But it's all nerves that they just bang, 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 just ripping down beers. But they don't cause any problems. There's another who has the same issue, drinks too fast because they're nervous, and they do become a problem. And I've had to sit there and say, just hang on, dude. Just dial it, but you're going to be fine. You don't have to toss these sumbitches down like this. It's a funny game that their brain plays with them.
Around here, unless you're completely out of control, and we've told stories, people, they just talk themselves or drank themselves out of a job at our Christmas parties around here. But most of the bosses get pretty hammered.
Yeah.
So over the years, almost all of them actually are kind of the drunkest people at the party. So you want to get maybe under that level, not equally drunk as the boss.
Hell, there's one boss from years gone by where I've sat with them at multiple radio station functions, and I can't say that I've been able to make out 10% of what they were saying to me.
I know. There's a couple.
I can't follow. You just nod.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
And you know what? How many times have you and I got to first base with a former boss?
Once.
For me, it was a few times.
Oh, I thought he only kissed us once.
Oh no! Whenever he was drunk, he was very kissy. We had a boss that was very spitty when he talked when he was drunk.
A lot of spit. Well, I know we've done it a million times, but on the subject, I mean, if he's got some free time, we wouldn't be mad if he's wanted to send. If you wanted to text and remind us of what went sideways at one of your company Christmas parties. I mean, it's that time of year, 651-989-9393. Try to be as brief as you can. The text machine only allows so much. If you want to tell us about how something went bananas at one of your Christmas parties.
Humble Jesus said at his last company's Christmas party, one of the office girls gave a warehouse guy. You guys know what a BJ is?
Yes.
Yep.
I've heard of them.
She gifted him one of those in the bathroom. And then he went and told not only his wife, but her husband as well.
Oh, no.
Well, that's a very thoughtful gift.
Some folks can't keep a secret.
Well, Dana, just wait till Christmas.
You guys know mine from many, many years ago when I was driving a forklift for a living, where we had a hell of a Christmas party. I mean, we were all young dudes in the warehouse. I mean, 21, 22, just... And then you had your typical office staff, too. Obviously, they were a little older. The boss was quite a bit older than us, but I was pretty tight with these guys. We had a great time. I got myself good and drunk, and I got the hell out of there. Maybe around midnight. When I got back to work on Monday, I found out I missed out on a gangbang.
Dang, I'm so sorry.
Talk about FOMO.
But maybe is it good in the long run?
I would have liked to have been part of that gangbang.
All right.
Yeah, I would.
Is it something where anyone that was there was invited, or?
From what I remember, from what I was told, the front desk lady
Boy, they can get wild. It's always the front desk ladies.
Who was a super fox. Apparently, she said to 3, 4, 5 of the boys, from the warehouse, she said, how'd you like to all of you come back to my hotel room and take a run at this? And they said, sure. And Monday morning, I got to hear the story, and I felt like a damn jackass.
Crazy, dude.
I would have liked to have been involved.
You'd have been the conductor of that train?
Whatever. I'll take whatever role you got available.
Yeah, I mentioned before when we told the story about a guy who drank himself out of a job here by being just a jerk, and then I missed the throwing of the bar. I saw him do that the previous year, but I missed the throwing of the glasses at the one he got fired, the beer glasses, and then him getting hit over the head with the beer bottle. I missed those. I left within minutes of that when that happened.
It was beautiful.
And I was miserable.
I'm sorry that you missed it, Josh, because it was friggin' incredible.
And if there's anybody that ever deserved, now I wouldn't wish this upon someone, unless you're a terrorist or a kid toucher or something, but if there's anybody that deserved to get hit over the head with a beer bottle.
It was him.
Yeah,
it was.
I'd love to see that.
It was great. Cops in Wyoming. Cops in Wyoming. I didn't know there was such a thing. They're trying to tell folks to stop decorating their cars like it's your damned Christmas tree.
I've seen that so often this year.
I saw it a lot this year, too.
What?
I've
seen that.
Yeah, I've seen 4 cars at least. One was a Jeep, too. And it had, the back tire was full of lights and everything.
Dude, that's so cool.
I've seen 3, but I'm going to say 5 to one-up you.
Nice. I like that.
I'm not as competitive as you guys. I'm just going to go ahead and say I saw one of these setups just a day or 2 ago where some holiday hard-on had wrapped his vehicle from top to bottom with Christmas lights. Now, I don't know how the cops around these parts feel about that type of thing, but the police in Wyoming are telling folks to can it.
Yeah, I thought it was illegal around here. I thought you could only have, underglow.
You can't even have that while driving. Okay. We've had troopers tell us that before, that you can't. But it looks cool.
Yeah, it does.
So there was one in particular, this little sedan, that was... They could do this for a living. Maybe they do. Maybe they do work on vehicles. Because it was kind of a tricked-out car. It was awesome. They could go to a show with that.
So the Wyoming cops, they jumped up on that friggin' social media, and they shared a picture of a car that they recently pulled over because it was just choked with Christmas lights. And the cops posted some verbiage here as well. They said, this might look cool and festive, but we would like to remind you that it is illegal. Please remember to stay safe when celebrating this season. Grow up, dorks, they said.
Buff Cop Jesus says of the topic, I ain't no Scrooge. So I guess maybe if you get pulled over by him, he won't give you a ticket for it.
Oh, okay.
It is fun,
I'm mad that I haven't seen a car all decked out like this. I saw it. The article you sent me, but I want to see something like that in person.
Well, I'll be thinking about you.
I imagine people that would be trendy if you're going to look at Christmas lights one night. People plan a little night to go do that.
Sure.
I did one of those where you rent a party bus and you go tour Christmas lights. Not worth it.
We did one too.
Christmas lights.
Yeah,
I love it.
As a family, it was a total bust.
Yeah.
That sounds miserable.
Even I thought all the kids are going to love this. This is going to be a memory they're going to have forever. Even they didn't have fun.
My family did the same thing, Josh, and it's kind of just something that happened. It wasn't really that crazy.
Well, I remember my parents, they used to drive us around when we were kids, and I was just enthralled. I thought it was the greatest ever, and it wasn't the same.
The difference with Ashley and Josh's family, though, is Ashley's family probably brought drinks with them. Josh's family did not.
Yeah, we did. We were pretty tuned up, and it did help.
So more or less, the cops said, I got a couple texts on this. We're not talking about Wyoming, Minnesota. We're talking about Wyoming. The cops more or less said, it's illegal to wrap your friggin' car from top to bottom with Christmas lights. They more or less said, keep it in your pants there, Clark Griswold.
Gamer Jesus said they look cool at night. During the day, they look terrible. It's tape all over the place.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Now, once we're through with this Christmas nonsense, then we got to deal with New Year's Eve. Most folks don't really give two pumps about New Year's Eve once they've hit 30 years old or so. I always get a kick out of it year after year after year, right, Josh? If we're ever broadcasting on New Year's Eve, which we will be this year, in the morning, of course. We're not going to do a nighttime show on New Year's Eve. Anytime we discuss New Year's Eve, we always get a couple of text messages that say, amateur night.
Yeah.
Most folks, once you hit 30 or so, you let go of the idea that you got to blow your brains out on New Year's Eve. But I got to admit, this sounds like an interesting way to spend New Year's Eve, as long as they serve, a few cold beers in a place called Macon, Georgia, for New Year's, by God, Eve this year. They're going to take a building and blow it up real good.
Sweet. We acquired this property to blow it up. And I think a lot of people are going to have a problem with it. They're going to have a little heartburn to start with. We're going to spend a little money to tear that thing down. But what you'll see that's replacing that is going to be 100 times what it's doing right now.
We support the demolition. It's an eyesore to the whole community, and we'd love to have something else there. We just want to make sure that our church doesn't get blown up on our bicentennial.
Well, that'd be kind of cool to see, too.
That first voice you heard was the mayor down there in Macon, Georgia. He's a feller named Lester. He's got a chip on his shoulder. I'll tell you more about Lester here in a second. They're going to blow a building smooth off the face of the earth. Everyone's agreed to this, except for the people currently living in the building. They feel a little disrespected.
Sure.
But they'll work something out. Word is they've got this vacant 16-story hotel sitting around doing nothing in Macon, Georgia. So the idea is, I guess, why not pop it like a zit on prom night? The county spent $4.5 million last year to buy the hotel, and now they've upped and hired a demolition crew to blast the piss out of it. It'll cost them $2.6 million to blow it smooth up. And you heard the mayor there, a feller by the name of Lester Miller. He said, we acquired this property to blow it up. He gets it.
I want to do that with my house sometimes, and I know you want to do the same with yours.
Yeah, I'd blow that some. Lester here knows how to have some laughs. The hotel was opened in 1970. Apparently, Elvis Presley once stayed there and likely soiled the sheets. But it says here, the hotel's never been a big success. It's been vacant since it closed in the year 2017. I'm guessing it's just been a hangout for shady bastards and public masturbators ever since then. And you also heard a voice there in the audio. There's a local church nearby that's worried that the explosion might F up some of their windows. But Lester, the mayor, he said, loosen up, will you? It's New Year's Eve. We'll get you some new windows if we have to. God.
Chill about the windows.
You know who hates New Year's Eve? Bouncer Jesus. He hates having to work that night.
Yep. Awful. I hated having to work when I worked in the bar business, having to work New Year's Eve.
Just get sloppy out there.
Oh, it's just awful. And then you're sober, so everyone else just sucks extra.
I can't imagine working a bar on New Year's Eve. No friggin' thanks. That would be so miserable. But I wouldn't enjoy working at a bar any night, with the exception of what we did Saturday for charity and knowing that I'm only going to be behind the bar for an hour and a half. I don't know how bartenders do it. You put up with so many a-holes and douchebags on New Year's Eve. Oh, I bet that's difficult. My brother and a buddy of ours, who Josh knows quite well, House.
Oh, sure. He bought me a Shirley Temple.
He did. A number of years ago, because they both have experience in the field, a number of years ago, they accepted a job on New Year's Eve to bounce at a bar downtown. It was some massive bar party, and they needed as many bouncers as they could get their hands on. And my brother and House, although I don't think they had bounced in many years, they got a call and they said, sure, we'll do it.
I wouldn't mess with those guys.
And they both came back covered in blood. And none of it was their own. They said it was an absolute war zone. They were constantly picking up people and firing them out the door. They were exhausted, soaked with booze, and covered in blood. And a lot of the blood, it wasn't because they were unfairly tuning guys up. It's they were breaking up fights. And so some guy would get his lower lip ripped off in a fist fight. Well, who had to throw him out? My brother or House? So these bastards are bleeding all over them as they're... Ask him about it. It was, it had to have been 15 years ago now, but they said they were just cooked because it was from 6 p.m. to 3 a.m., just hoisting suckers out the door all night long. You're gone. You're gone.
Ashley, do you make big money those nights, though?
No, not New Year's Eve.
Oh, are people too drunk to tip? Or?
A lot of young people.
Oh, gotcha.
Yep.
And a lot of bars do those like all-you-can-drink type things where you just pay a flat fee to get in and then nobody tips the bartenders.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
They have an all-you-can... That seems dangerous.
They technically have to call it all you care to drink for legal reasons.
Oh,
oh, what a big difference that is.
I know, right?
Legal reasons.
So if they try to cut you off, you go, no. I care to drink more. There's a lot of caring for more.
It's all in the verbiage. Staying with the bar theme. Here we go. Every day, another little gimmick here for you. It says here, if you want to smell like a dive bar, there are 3 ways to do it. Of course, go have a quick 6 at an actual dive bar. The second way to do it, in my opinion, would be to have a 10-minute conversation with my buddy Special K. He always smells like he just slept on the floor of the men's room at a neighborhood roadhouse.
It just gets on you?
It gets on you. So go drink at a dive bar. Have a 10-minute conversation with Special K. That's another way to smell like a dive. Or the folks at Miller High Life, they've put together a cologne/perfume. They call it a holiday scent. So now if you don't have to go to a dive bar to smell like one. That's the slogan. They've got a dive bar cologne perfume holiday scent type of a thing for you.
Meanwhile, in Brews News, Miller High Life is making a cologne. Cool. Maybe when they're done, they can try making beer. According to Miller, the cologne is called Dive Bar Fume. The company says it captures every familiar dive bar scent and retails for $40. But can you really put a price on voluntarily smelling like ass?
There you go. Dive Barfume is what you should look for on the godless internet if you want to buy a bucket of this swill. They call it premium. They call it a premium unisex fragrance that captures the dive bar scents that you know and possibly even love. Smells are known to trigger memories, Cubby.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yeah. Smells, music.
So maybe that's part of the appeal. Maybe it'll remind you of the great times you had dead-ass drunk at your neighborhood dirt pile beer hall. This is what I understand. It'll smell like a Miller beer, of course. Tobacco, leather, bar food. I don't know. It smells like a bar.
It smells like popcorn.
Stale popcorn.
I'm trying to think of an establishment I'd like to smell like. Maybe a Burger King.
I do like the smell of a Burger King.
KFC might be a good one.
And both of those places have probably done this bit.
I'm sure, especially Burger King. Well, actually, both of them. Now I think about it. They both kind of get into those gimmicky things.
KFC's had the candles, and they've also had the log you could burn in your fireplace.
Oh, yeah, I wanted that. That would have been sweet.
Everyone plays this game at one point or another.
The back bathroom in this building for a while when a particular person worked here, that is not a smell I would ever like to recreate.
Yuck.
We've described it as alien-like. It wasn't a human that created that. And it would get through the fart barrier. There's 2 doors on there on purpose, and somehow it would seep through.
That was that shorter guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, he smelled bad.
How did that happen?
People are saying this and that on social media about the Miller High Life. What's the word again? Not cologne.
Barfume?
Barfume, thank you. They're saying the champagne of colognes, the scent of my youth. Now, Josh played some audio of some jackwagon claiming they wanted $40 in trade for a bucket of this barfume. Well, the story I have in front of me says $60. Got to be 21 to buy this Miller Sure F.
Oh, here's a good one from text. I'd like to smell like the Olive Garden breadsticks.
Oh, that's a good smell.
Good. Just had those a couple weeks back.
Yeah, me too, actually. The Egan one?
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
I don't leave Egan except for this place, Dana.
That's a good point, yeah. That's a dumb question by me.
Silly of you.
Speaking of bar smells, I mean, I know I always find myself quite alone when I make this statement, but when they kicked cigarette smoking out of the bars a number of years ago, I have to admit that the first time I went to my neighborhood bar after smoking was made illegal or whatever the term might be. I got to admit, it didn't seem right to me. I've gotten used to clean air in the bar, but there was something about that weather system-sized cloud of cigarette smoke. There was something about how bad you would smell when you got home that night that I really embraced and kind of enjoyed. And I have to say, for a stretch of time, I really missed cigarette smoking in the bar.
Well, there are certain places you could go like a year later and still capture that scent and aura, as it just took so long to get cleaned up.
It stays in the walls.
Yeah.
Some places.
I always wanted a chance to smoke a cigarette in a bar. That'd be fun. While playing pool, it's like just like the classic look.
Do you vape?
Yeah, I do, but I don't like exhale. So.
What?
Yeah, so like I don't like blow the smoke out. I'm not one of those D-bags that just like blows smoke in the room.
What do you do with it?
You just hold it in until it just
dissipates.
It just like absorbs into your body, I guess.
A lot of it goes into your lungs, from what I understand.
That's what I've heard.
And it just stays there?
Yeah.
All right.
Stay in there.
One more
called
here.
ghosting it, Josh.
Is it really?
Yeah.
God, you know everything.
One more here on the topic of beer drinking and hell raising. The folks at Natural Light, most of us have poured one or two.
Boy.
Have you guys had an experience?
You guys going to be all right over there?
Just Natural Light.
Kind of sound like you guys were playing with each other a little bit.
Maybe we are.
Very unison.
What's with Natural Light?
It was just the go-to beer when you were like 18, 19 in college.
Oh, really?
Cheap,
I've never
Natty
even
Ice.
had one.
Yeah, very cheap.
Right.
Yeah, you guys were into that.
Oh, yeah.
Natural Light has come up with something they call the neighborator. They say it's the best way to make friends with your neighbor. You might want to look this up. By God, it's a double-sided beer fridge designed to be installed in the fence that separates you from your neighbor if, in fact, you have that situation going right now.
It's pretty hilarious.
It's up on 93x.com.
It's good looking.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's good looking.
That'd be fun.
It especially looks good when it's full of beers. According to the Natty folks, they were inspired to create this pig after learning that more than 60% of Americans wish they had a closer relationship with the folks right next door.
I'm one of those people.
Yeah, I'd love to have a neighbor I could drink beers with on the fence.
I only want this because I see the neighbors that me and my boyfriend get along with. The guy sits in his garage, and I can see that he's got a TV in there, and he drinks beer in his garage sometimes, and I'm like, come on, man, just invite us over. I want to sit in the garage and drink beer.
Yeah, six-pack.
No, I'm nervous. He has to invite me.
Don't bring a six-pack unless you want to be known as the cheap ass in the neighborhood. You bring a case of beer. We're not in 8th grade anymore.
Thank you for the advice.
I have a pet peeve with that. Back when I used to have a lot of house parties, every swinging D would bring a case of beer. And I had one friend, Wang, who would show up with a 6-pack. What am I going to do with that?
And then it turns into a 5-pack.
All right, so the official statement from Natural Light says this here now. They say Natural Light has always been the community beer that brings people together. So when
it brought Wapple and Dana together for a moment.
Almost to a simultaneous orgasm. When we discovered that the majority of neighbors wished they were better friends with the folks who live next door, we dreamed up a natural way to forge a connection. The neighborator will help turn that fence line, Cubby, from yours and mine to ours.
That's so cute.
They're very cheesy. Both sides of the fence, of course, can access the beers. And like I said, it's cool looking. It really is. There is a catch. You can't buy the neighborator. What are you, stupid or something? You gotta win it.
Of course.
Oh, no. There's only one or a few they're going to give away. You can enter to win a neighborator by following Natural Light on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. You got to go ahead and tell the Natty Light people why you and your neighbor deserve the neighborator. That's easy. Just tell them your neighbor is dying.
Oh, perfect.
Sure. That's absolutely perfect. Oh, my neighbor, old guy.
He needs this.
He's on death's door.
I understand, like, when companies do this, when they release a cool product like this and you have to win it. But I always wonder, like, why don't they... I think a lot of people would buy this. They could get some money off of this.
Probably because it's a lot of work.
Yeah, and you got to have a neighbor that agrees and a fence.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have a fence, and I'm wondering how to approach the neighbors. Hey, I got this thing. What would you think?
Can we just put it on the property line in the front yard?
And by the way, I'm using your electricity.
Does it work with like chain link fences?
If you win the neighborator, you also get a year's worth of beer.
Cool bitch Heidi said her neighbor has a bar in his garage called the Voodoo Lounge. I love that he named it.
That's sweet.
Cool.
Yeah, the garage used to be my hangout spot at my old house. At the current place, it doesn't quite work the same. You know, I had what's the term, Josh? A separate garage? What do they call that?
Detached?
I had a detached garage. TV, stereo,
nice.
couches, wood-burning stove.
Sweet.
Man.
Ping pong table.
Why did you move?
Because the old place sucked.
Oh, that sounds legit.
The garage was great, but that wasn't worth staying.
No.
It wasn't worth staying. That's all right. I do have a fence, so maybe someday I can put something together and have a neighborator situation.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Happy with where we're at, 12 wins, at this point in the season. We need it to keep pace with where we want to be. It's going to be incredibly competitive down the stretch here, and we're going to have to play well and continue to improve, chasing our best football.
I hear you. That's Minnesota Vikings head football coach Kelvin O'Conrad talking about last night's ball game against the Chicago Bears. Everything worked out all right for the Vikings last night, didn't it, Josh?
It did. Yep.
I got to admit, I couldn't make it. My goodness, that was a boring football.
It really was.
I fell asleep halfway through the fourth quarter, but I almost made it.
And despite the score, it still seemed like, are we going to win this game?
Honestly, after the first, as soon as they, the first play went off for the Bears, I was like, this is going to be a long freaking game.
Yeah, there were a couple moments there where the Bears could have changed, the momentum, changed the Vikings' game plan. There were a couple of 4th and 1s where they came up short both times, the Chicago Bears.
That's weird. Why would you go for it?
Why would they go for it?
In the beginning.
Well, because they don't care. They're 4 and 9. I mean,
they're not going to the playoffs.
No, why not
soon.
just go for it and try to have some fun? F the Vikings up. Have a few laughs. You had that dinkus offensive lineman who forgot to tell the referee, hey, look, I'm going to play.
Oh, my God.
It's just stupid. So there were moments in the game. The Vikings have had a few games like this where the opposition has stepped on their own dong when they could have taken control of the ball game and changed things. Maybe not change the entire outcome, but threw a monkey wrench into the Vikings' plans. The Bears were another one of those teams that screwed it up last night, but it was really painful and boring. Randy Shaver will take interest in this later on this morning. You guys won't give a pump, but I actually flipped it over for periods of time during last night's Vikings game to Major League Baseball Network or the Major League Baseball, whatever it is, and I watched a Chicago Cubs Philadelphia Phillies baseball game from 1979. I did. I'll tell you about that later. You're going to be dialed into that in a big way.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
Well, really, it is actually quite interesting, and I'll tell you later.
Did you know the outcome before you watched it?
No.
Oh, so, okay, that's cool. So you're watching it as if it was brand new.
Yes, but once certain things started happening, I went, oh, yeah, this ball game. I mean, it wasn't on just because it was on. It was like one of the 20 greatest games ever played. Again, I'll tell you about it later. Not much else going on. So how about we get somebody into tomorrow night's Pigs game, Josh? Does this sound fair to you?
Yeah, that's an awesome prize.
They play tomorrow night at home against the Florida Panthers. This is what I have in front of me right now on the Luther Bloomington Kia text line. Text the keyword HIT to 651-989-9393 for a chance to win tickets to Pigs Panthers at the X tomorrow night. For tickets, they say check out wild.com/hockey tickets. Good luck. We're going to take a break. Josh's news is next.
There's a douchiness to them. The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Standard Heating and Air Conditioning wants to wish you a happy holiday season and wants to let you know that Standard Heating is ready if you face a heating emergency. Their expert team is available through the holidays to make sure you stay warm and safe, no matter what. Become a Smart Club member so that you'll have peace of mind knowing that you're covered for the upcoming winter season. For more info or 24/7 emergency heating services, call 612-824-2656. Comfort you deserve since 1930.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are the things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Visit Progressive.com to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states or situations.
You met Lala Kent on Vanderpump Rules. Now Lala and her friends share everything on Give Them Lala.
First time that I've been away from Sosa. Day one of being gone all day.
Tell her the phone calls. So how far are you? Well, she's just like really hungry. All right.
I'm very proud of myself that I got through it, and very proud of you, Mom, that you
got through it as well.
Yeah.
We held the fort down. Watch what Lala is talking about on YouTube or search for Give Them Lala wherever you listen.
Half-assed Morning Show. 93X.
All aircraft use extreme caution. Patterson-class Delta is now closed for heavy UAS activity. Patterson-class Delta is closed after your transition.
Mysterious drones buzzing across the skies of the northeastern U.S. are raising some serious national security concerns with their presence, even forcing a major U.S. Air Force base to temporarily shut down late Friday. Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio restricted its airspace for about 4 hours after a series of drone sightings. The disruption was part of a growing wave of mystery drone reports sweeping the region in recent weeks.
Oh, my God.
Sightings documented in states like New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Massachusetts, Virginia. These drones haven't just been spotted near military installations. They've also been reported over critical infrastructure. While the FBI and the Department of Homeland Security released a statement last week downplaying the sightings, explaining most were likely hobby drones or manned aircraft, they insist there's no immediate danger to the public. Still, not everyone's reassured. Lawmakers in New York, New Jersey, and other affected states are demanding more transparency, accusing the government of either underestimating the threat or withholding critical information.
But now we're in week 4. We're still seeing drones, continue to believe that there's no threat, but we just don't know what's going on. Yeah. And that's all we're looking for. If it is a national security issue, fine, tell us.
Even ESPN host and sports journalist Stephen A. Smith is looking for some answers, loudly.
United States government, get it together. Drones flying over people's houses in Jersey and New York. I saw Independence Day, damn it. I ain't underestimating none of that stuff. Figure it out.
Speculation about the cause of the surge varies. An FBI official suggested copycat drone operators might be fueling the spike in sightings, while others noted that over 90% of the reports involved mistaken identifications, such as satellites or even planets.
Yeah, this isn't just high school kids.
Doesn't seem that way. You know, at first I kind of ignored it, but it's not going away. And it seems like it's getting worse. And now cops are asking folks, the drone hunters, not to shoot at them.
Drone hunters?
You can get in trouble for that. Yeah, there's people that are so fed up with it, they're out there trying to hunt them. And also there's others using lasers to point at them, which, of course, if they're incorrect, which cops are saying is happening more and more often, they're blinding pilots.
Oh, is that how a lot of the stories were coming out in the past months? They were doing that?
The
laser pointers?
Drain hunting?
Yeah.
Or drone hunting? I don't believe so.
Huh. I think they're just bored dudes in their garage.
Yeah. That's usually how it is. Once again, a penis has ruined dinner. The very same marvel of nature that sparked the beginning of human life, the penis. Did you know that, Ashley?
Yes, I did.
Are you aware of that? The penis. It's amazing.
Thank you so much, men.
You're welcome.
I'm glad you recognized it, finally. And sparked a bizarre altercation involving one of Hollywood's most well-known stars and the crew behind Firecrackers in Unspeakable Places, dubbed Ass Rockets. Oscar-winning actor and singer Jamie Foxx ended up needing stitches after an incident he claims began with an unwarranted and unprovoked phallic laser pointer. On Friday night, Foxx said he was dining at the upscale Beverly Hills restaurant Mr. Chow when members of the Jackass crew, not the famous faces like Johnny Knoxville or Steve-O, but rather crew members enjoying a party in the restaurant's VIP section upstairs, allegedly pulled a prank. They allegedly used a laser pointer to project an image of a penis onto Jamie's table, which he didn't find funny whatsoever. The actor's frustration was compounded by the fact that his kids were present, so he and a group of friends went upstairs to confront the pranksters and ask them to stop. And that's when things escalated. At some point during a confrontation, a glass was thrown, hitting Jamie in the face, reportedly causing a cut that required stitches. However, the Jackass crew's version of the events differ. An attorney representing the production team denied their involvement in the incident as described. Police are investigating.
Who else would it be?
I don't know. I didn't even know you could get something like that, a penis laser.
That's pretty cool.
If
anybody could do it, it'd be the Jackass crew.
What are those guys still getting together for anyway?
That's what I was wondering, too, because I don't think they're filming a new movie or anything. Maybe they're just all buddies getting together.
Nobody else wants to hang out with guys like that, maybe?
Where the hell is my bell?
A police
you got it, Ashley.
A police officer in England's been permanently banned from the force after recording himself masturbating while in uniform. 42-year-old Simon Barker filmed the explicit video at a police station where police officials, who presumably masturbate in the privacy of their own homes, say he was clearly identifiable in his uniform.
Oh, no.
When he finished, he sent the smut to his girlfriend via WhatsApp. Barker, who served on North Yorkshire Police's rural crime team, quit the force a day before he was set to face a misconduct hearing.
Oh, boy.
The panel, however, didn't hold back, ruling that Barker would have been fired for gross misconduct had he not preemptively stepped down following the sticky situation. The official note stated, "By this action, you've brought discredit on the police service." His Police Federation representative claimed the disgraced officer was deeply sorry for the workplace wanking and had been a once proud member of law enforcement.
So this was an accident? The video got posted on accident. How did he get in trouble for this?
I'm not sure how they found it. Somebody obviously sent it to his bosses, but he recorded it. He was in his uniform and everything at work at the police station.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah, you'd think...
Go home for that.
Right. There's so many other places he could have done it. You didn't need to wear the uniform. You need to do it at your workplace. People eat donuts in there. That's the stereotype. Looks like some NYPD officers have been blending their Christmas cheer with a little too much holiday spirit this December, with precinct parties jingling all the way and fraternal gatherings decked out with flowing eggnog and festive libations. A few off-duty cops seem to have added bad decisions to their holiday list. So far this month, barely over halfway through December, 3 NYPD officers have found themselves on the naughty list for DUI arrests. The most recent case happened early Saturday morning when an officer on Staten Island wrapped up a night of partying with a single vehicle crash. On Friday, another officer was caught sleeping in his car, not so subtly parked in the middle of the street. And earlier this month, a third officer was caught driving under the influence at 7 a.m. Department officials are expressing their disappointment in those officers' actions.
Come on, boys. You don't know anybody that would give you a ride?
That sounds like a real donkey show there, Cubby.
Yeah, like you said, Ashley, you'd think they'd be able to find a ride pretty decent. I'd imagine in New York there's cabs and Ubers everywhere.
Yeah, or I mean, one of your buddies from work, I'm sure you got them in your contact list.
But the speculation is Christmas parties, early Christmas parties. These guys are making some bad choices.
You guys remember what happened to Superboy after he had too many beers and then drove home?
I don't think I do.
Copland. Look it up, for Christ's sake.
A 33-year-old Rosemont man was arrested early Sunday morning in Minneapolis after driving the wrong way on 35W and causing a head-on collision. According to the Minnesota State Patrol, the crash occurred about 1:15 a.m. near 60th Street. The man was behind the wheel of a Dodge Durango, headed southbound in the northbound lanes, which is not what you're supposed to do, and then he slammed into a Toyota Camry. The driver of the Toyota, a 30-year-old from St. Paul, escaped with minor injuries, but his passenger, a 25-year-old also from St. Paul, suffered severe yet non-life-threatening injuries. Meanwhile, the driver of the Dodge was unharmed, though his passenger, a 40-year-old woman from Duluth, sustained minor injuries. Authorities arrested the wrong-way driver on suspicion of driving while intoxicated and criminal vehicular operation. That crash remains under investigation. Thankfully, it wasn't worse. That Could have been very, very bad.
That's where I almost got killed by a wrong-way driver, was that 35W, Josh.
Yeah, what a terrifying thing that was.
Ooh-wee.
Have you guys ever been the person driving the wrong way?
No.
I accidentally did that once. It was right after I started driving, and it was
On
like
the
late.
freeway?
It was.
Please stop.
It was a freeway, but it was really late at night.
Oh, my God.
I was really tired, and like I said, I new to driving.
Was it like the old joke where you thought, why is everyone going the wrong way?
Yeah, there was a car coming towards me, and I thought, what is it? Why are they? Oh my gosh, this is it! Like I just started driving.
The wrong
what is
way
happening
on the freeway?
It was the scariest moment of my life.
What in?
I bet it was also the scariest moment of theirs.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, I just pulled over and sat there for a little bit and was like, okay, so I learned very quickly never drive tired. I never told my parents that either, so they probably just found out.
That's the scariest story we've heard on this show in a long time.
Yeah, man. I guess it could happen to anybody if it could happen to you. Not really everyone else. I was just trying to make her feel better. Firefighters in Redlands, California responded to a rather unconventional carpool Friday when a driver lost control, smashed through a wall, and ended up making quite the splash right into a fitness center pool. Luckily...
Car went into a pool?
Yeah, right into the pool. Right through the building into the pool. Thankfully, the driver, the only one in the car, escaped with just minor injuries. Even better, the pool was empty, so no one was hurt. First responders were on the scene in no time, treating the driver's injuries before handing them off to police.
Never seen that in person, car in a pool.
Yeah, I haven't either. Certainly picture. Usually it's outdoors. You know, somebody goes through a fence and crashes into a backyard pool. But.
Right. Ashley, you ever drive a car into a pool?
Not yet. Not yet.
What about just into a fitness center? While the California driver's mishap ended with a splash, water-related crashes in colder climates can be more dangerous. Crashing into frozen water, like a woman in New Hampshire. She's facing charges after she drunkenly drove her car into a frozen lake. The front end of the vehicle ended up caving into the ice. The driver was able to escape through a window and crawl across the ice safely to shore, where she was arrested.
You guys ever see those videos of a car smashing through an above-ground pool? It's kind of satisfying, just the amount of water that just gets thrown everywhere.
Well, I've seen an above-ground pool give way, and you're right. The amount of water is impressive. Why does it doesn't look like that much when it's in the pool, but when it gets spit out onto a yard, you go, oh, my God, that's a lot. So I've never seen a car pop the pool, but I've seen other ways.
Oh, man. No, my buddy Bitch Nips, he's got one of those, and there's 2 clear runways that you could drive a car right into that thing. Man, I hope that happens.
Man, now I can't wait for summer.
The hunt is on for a daring thief who turned a California mall into their personal action movie set, smashing a stolen truck through a JCPenney, swiping jewelry, and then vanishing without a trace.
I mean, this mall is not frequented as much as it used to be, and so it's sad that somebody would come and do something like that.
Early Sunday morning, just before 8 a.m., the suspect revved up a stolen Chevy and barreled through the glass doors of Sunrise Mall in Citrus Heights. The mall wasn't open yet, but that didn't stop the man from grabbing a stash of jewelry from the store and staging an equally dramatic exit by crashing through another set of glass doors to make the escape. Police have surveillance footage of the Chevy smashing into the store, but aren't releasing it quite yet. The truck was found abandoned just south of the city, but the suspect remains on the run.
Driving a car through the mall.
Yeah.
Like the Blues Brothers.
Well, not through the mall, just through the entrance of the JCPenney to steal some jewelry and take off.
Oh, my damn.
The Louisiana Police Department had an unusual Sunday when they responded to a chaotic chronicle of events involving a stolen school bus and a major crash. 26-year-old Marion Baker was cooking up trouble while being transported to a mental health facility, deciding to skip the visit entirely. Instead, Baker took off in an unoccupied school bus he found nearby. What followed was a recipe for disaster. Baker drove the bus into oncoming traffic, triggering a multi-vehicle crash involving 4 other vehicles.
See, Ashley?
It's dangerous.
That is dangerous. What are you? You're confused on the message I'm sending you here?
I thought maybe for a second you were just, I don't know.
That's what can happen when you go the wrong way down.
He fled the scene and stole a bystander's truck who had simply stopped to help. However, law enforcement wasn't far behind. Cops tracked the stolen vehicle and apprehended Baker, putting an end to his dramatic getaway. Several people sustained moderate injuries, but none were considered life-threatening. Officers in southern Wisconsin sprang into action to track down 2 suspects who stole a vehicle from a gas station with a 2-year-old child still inside. Uh-oh. The Janesville Police Department received the call about 4:35 p.m. Friday, reporting the stolen car with the toddler still on board. As they rushed to respond, a witness called with an update. The 2-year-old had been abandoned on the side of the road unharmed.
Officers were called to a stop and go when a caller told them there was a 2-year-old inside of the car when it was stolen. Another witness found the 2-year-old abandoned still in the car seat.
With help from multiple law enforcement agencies, Janesville police quickly located the suspects and took them into custody.
Being that person that rolled up on like the 2-year-old baby on the side of the road, oh my gosh, I would think that I was hallucinating.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect. So the bad guys pulled over, put the baby on the side of the road, and then continued on?
Yeah, and kept going.
It's nice of them.
A 57-year-old teacher was arrested for a bizarre and cruel act against a 9-year-old student. Authorities say Todd Lewis used tape to secure the child's head to a desk, leaving them restrained for about an hour.
Oh, dude.
The young victim shared with detectives. Lewis taped the back of their neck to the desk for about 40 to 50 minutes. To make matters worse, a 67-year-old teacher's aide, Sally Ann Scala, was reportedly present the entire time and did absolutely nothing to intervene.
Well, how bad was this kid effing off?
They didn't say.
Okay.
Or they didn't even say if he was.
That was pretty funny to watch.
Lewis was arrested Wednesday and now faces a second-degree charge of endangering the welfare of a child. Scala, whose inaction has also sparked outrage, was issued a summons for fourth-degree cruelty and neglect of children. Both have been placed on administrative leave. Authorities didn't provide details about why the teacher taped the student.
That's an interesting one.
I need to know why.
That's old school right there, isn't it, Josh?
Yeah, they don't do that too often, I don't think.
Did you say the teacher's aide was 67?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, that's kind of how
I've had teacher aides that are older like
the
that.
teacher's aides seem like they're pretty young or older, like retired people.
It's never in the middle, never.
All our teacher's aides were kids, like seniors and older kids.
Oh, really?
Oh.
In the high school, yeah.
It was always like somebody's mom that like volunteered.
What the hell is a teacher's aide?
It's like someone that helps the teacher, grade papers and stuff like that.
Did a lot of your teachers have aides, or was it just kind of in some classrooms? And
all my teachers had aides.
Every single one.
Yep.
I never saw one of those, a teacher's aide.
I don't know that we had any either.
Oh, really?
Never saw one.
We had a lot. They
if
were
you
like
had developmental
college.
disabilities, they would have a teacher's aide, like kind of dedicated towards one or two people, but not just in general.
I fell in love with one of my teacher's aides.
Tell us more about it. I want to hear more about this.
He was younger, probably in college. He was my history teacher's aide, and sometimes he would teach the class every now and then. And he was older, so I thought that was super cool. He was very nerdy, so that's right up my alley. I like nerds.
Did you ever make a move?
I was way overly flirty. And, of course, at the time, I thought, oh, he's flirting with me back. No, he's not. You're 17. He's not flirting with you.
Well, maybe he was.
No, but I have a picture of him still. I took a picture of him one day.
And you
still have it.
What grade were you in?
11th grade?
Yeah, probably 11th.
Is that what you said?
11th or 12th.
Oh, you got it. So you're a junior, senior in high school, and you graduated a bit ago now.
Yep.
And you still have the photo.
Yeah, it's on my Instagram.
Well, let's look him up on Facebook.
That's great. And creepy.
Very creepy.
It reminds me, I was at a bar with a friend of mine. He's a high school teacher and has been for decades.
Uh-oh.
And, a girl came up to him and was talking to him, and he was a former student. He was happy to see her. She was great. And then he's like, was like, we always had a connection, you and I. And I was kind of wondering if maybe I can get your phone number. And he's changed immediately. He's like, we've never had a connection. No, you can't have my phone number, and I'm married. And it was so uncomfortable. And I think he's half thinking, is my buddy here going to think I had something goofy going on back in high school? He's not the guy. Definitely not the guy. And I saw his face. There was no way there's anything there, but it was so awkward, and I'm so glad I was there to see that.
Oh, my God.
Well, one of my buddies straight up got propositioned for sex by one of his former students at the bar one night.
How former? So this was maybe 4 years former.
Oh, good question. I'd say, I'd say maybe 5 or 6 years had gone by in that neighborhood. She was 21, 22, 23 years old, and she was real drunk. And she, at first, was just, oh, my God, it's Mr. Yo-Yo, whatever the guy's name is, Remember me? Well, sure I do. How you doing? And had a nice little conversation. And then a little bit later, she just straight up said, I'd like you to fire me into the friggin' tall grass right now. I always thought you were hot. And he just said, get the hell away from me.
So, Ashley, this teacher aide, let's say he hears about this, and he reaches out to you on Instagram and asks you out. Do you leave your boyfriend for him, or you're over it at this point?
Yeah, I'm over him. He was more of like when I was that age, I was into more different type of guy. So I grew up a little.
I mean, that's why you. Is that why you drove the wrong way down the friggin' freeway? Because you were thinking about Mr. Yo-Yo?
It was about the same time, yeah.
Daydreaming about him?
Having sex dreams about the teacher's aide?
Oh, my God.
I've never been attracted to a teacher.
That was the first one.
Oh, yeah?
But maybe it was mostly because it was mostly nuns.
Oh, yeah. We had a different in public school.
Yeah, we had a pretty hot gym teacher.
We didn't have much heat at our school, Cubby.
I never had a girl gym teacher. I'm assuming yours was a girl. It could have been a hot guy.
Yeah, middle school.
I always, I saw all the movies. I saw all the movies on Cinemax and HBO when I was a kid. So I was expecting that when I got to high school, there'd be some hot teacher there, and we'd all be just, we just didn't get that lucky.
I think they're even hotter now because I have a lot of girlfriends that are teachers, and I'm like, dude, I know those kids talk about how hot you are. That is crazy.
Well, I could tell you I've been to many, many school orientations over the years with my 3 kids. And there's a couple where I thought there is not one dad that's not going to show up for parent-teacher conferences. I bet this teacher never has a problem with both parents showing up.
We had limited heat all the way through. Grade school, junior high, even in high school, limited heat.
Yeah, all the girls in high school used to talk about the hockey coach.
Sure.
The hockey coach is always hot.
Always hot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Always.
Again,
he's always a really handsome guy.
I don't know what was in the water, but we didn't even have a good-looking hockey coach. There was nothing attractive about the people in positions of authority at any of the schools that I went to.
Get your barf bags ready for the gas bag. Now streaming on Netflix, the limited series Aaron Rodgers Enigma. I know how Nick's going to spend his day canceling his Netflix subscription.
Yeah.
He lives in between 2 worlds.
He's so much smarter than the rest of us. I wish he'd let us know that he was.
This guy is so delusional. It's remarkable.
That's fun. It's fun. I might watch it.
It is not fun.
Yeah, I might too, Josh.
Yeah.
A little bit. Just so I can laugh.
Tell us all about it, Cubby. I couldn't. You're a courageous guy. There's no way I could get through it.
Well, we've got time off next week. I'm gonna have to watch it just so maybe we can get some clips to play.
When does it fire up?
Today.
Well, but you ain't got time today?
No, I got to work, You
got something to do?
Yeah, I don't watch TV during the week, unfortunately. But yeah, outside of if there's a Monday Night Football game with the Vikings in it. But yeah, I'd enjoy watching that and bringing in some clips specifically to annoy the rest of you.
Well, we're going to have to wait till after Christmas to talk about it?
Probably, yeah.
Dana and Wapple and Ashley, you guys don't do anything after the show's over. Why don't you watch it?
I'll watch a little bit of it. I'll check it out.
Yeah, if there's anything we need to know about, just text me and maybe we can grab the audio.
Watch, it's going to be like every sentence. Like, Josh.
All right, we're just going to have to play the whole thing?
Oh, this is too good.
What if you love it?
Yeah, all of a sudden you just fall in love with Rodgers.
Well, I told you before, the first episode with the Jets on Hard Knocks, I thought I was wrong about the guy. I liked him, and I thought, my gosh, I feel so guilty because I didn't like him. And then he quickly revealed who he is.
Didn't last long.
No, not at all. Oh, my gosh, we got to go. That's 93X News.
Randy Shaver.
Got a fat ass and a bad attitude.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Play action from Darnold. End zone. Touchdown, Jefferson.
We love you, Randy. That's for you.
Shout out to Randy Moss after the touchdown from Justin Jefferson, his 8th of the year. Jones gets him in. Touchdown, Minnesota. Here's Akers driving for the touchdown.
First and foremost, we did exactly what we wanted to do coming back home. We continue to protect our home field. We will continue to fight to play as many games in this building as we possibly can. All right, there's a lot of great football out in front of us. But give it up for yourselves one time. 12 wins in the National Football League. 12 wins.
Bears are who we thought they were. They are who we thought they were.
Yeah, they ended up being just that. They ended up being just that yesterday, Randy Shaver, or last night, I should say. Before we get into that, before we dial into the ball game, plenty of classy extra company today, Randy Shaver. Who do you think I'm referring to by classy extra company?
Well, it can't be C Willi. So.
No, it is.
It is C Willi.
Shave. Come on,
it can't be Janel Klein.
No, see, you're wrong again. It is.
Oh my gosh.
World-class entertainer C. Willi Myles and universally respected television journalist Jupiter Jane are here this morning. Good morning, Janelle and C. Willi.
Hey, good morning.
You were wrong on both accounts, Randy.
Well, then I take it Brad Ryder's out too, which is probably a good thing.
He is out. He is out. We think he's ice fishing or something. We're going to find out at some point this week, but we haven't heard much.
Yeah,
from
he said he was going to do some.
He is ice fishing? Is it even that cold?
Yeah, it's definitely cold enough. There's plenty of inches to walk out on most lakes.
I thought we were.
There is already?
I thought we were hanging out with Laura Scherer on Saturday, but here she is on the air right here giving us an ice fishing update over there.
I was looking at a lake yesterday, Randy, that had 13 inches on it.
13.
Really? Wow.
13. It's been a long time since we told that joke.
Is that a lot?
That's enough.
That's a good amount.
C. Willi,
this year.
that'll hold you.
Well, last year, C. Willi, nobody got to go out at all. It was too freaking warm.
No, there was no winter last time around.
Yeah.
C. Willi Myles, how many live shows do you have scheduled for the year yet of 20 and 24?
One. And it's sold out already.
And that's your Christmas special?
Yep, at Crooners.
Okay. Coming up, when is that again?
The 28th.
Sold out.
Yeah, man. Shout out to a lot of all the 93Xers that have bought tickets and text me and said they were going to be there.
That's great.
And I was at the Blattner Theater up in Albany that was sold out last night. A lot of fans up there, too. So
the Blattner Theater.
Yeah, it's a Blattner Energy company up there, big energy company.
Okay.
They built this massive theater on the Albany High School. 800 seats, and we rocked it, man. It was...
Damn.
I shouldn't say we. It was just me. It's kind of like that Snoop Dogg, man. I like to think myself.
Yeah.
I like to thank myself for hanging in there, selling 800 tickets. I like to thank myself for doing a 127-minute show.
800 seats. You filled them all.
Yeah, it was awesome. It's my wife is from that area up in Melrose area. She's from a little town called Greenwald.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's what, my mother-in-law that I talk about all the time that loves Twins baseball.
Yes.
And she can't wait for the season to start so she can see them suck again. But anyway, at the end of the day, that's where Albany is about 15 minutes or 20 minutes from their house.
Sure.
So a lot of central Minnesota is a lot of yeah.
Yeah.
You betcha.
Yeah. Here comes C. Willi now.
I got somebody, they bought me gifts, man. I got like people brought me Rice Krispie bars, Special K bars.
Oh yeah.
I had a lady that they come to some of my shows. They know I'm from down south. They bought me grits.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
What are grits? I've heard of them. I just don't know what they are.
They're like I always call them white folks' cream of wheat.
Pretty much.
That's perfect.
I've had grits before when I used to spend time down in Mississippi and New Orleans, and I don't really remember much about them. But have you tried spreading them on top of Rice Krispie bars?
No. No, that's the way to get kicked out of the cookout. I don't want to lose my cookout card.
Don't worry about it. C. Willi's got dessert covered. He's brought Rice Krispie bars covered in grits.
Right. Yeah, that's a good way to get kicked out of cookout. Man, that's like putting raisins in your tater salad.
My grandma used to put raisins and shaved carrots in Jell-O, and I never was a fan.
See?
What?
God.
That is
Good Lord.
You found out one day that your grandma was smuggling raisins, but you said that you said one more show coming up December 28th, but unfortunately it's sold out.
It's sold out, yeah.
Dang.
And it's a banger. I'm there like two times a year for sure. And I don't know if people knew this or not, but they never did comedy there, and I was the first comedian they ever booked.
Always live music?
Always live music, always great food. And I always tell people, man, if you've never been to a real supper club, that's the place you need to go to, because it's an actual supper club.
Right on.
And Mary T, the lady that owns it, is just absolutely wonderful.
Well, congratulations on another great year of comedy.
It has been. It has been. I've been blessed, man.
Janel Klein, what do you hope to accomplish before the end of this year?
I bet staying in town would be important to you.
Yeah, exactly.
No terrible trials to cover or
None.
horrible weather events.
Doing no shows in front of 800 people.
You have nothing else to accomplish because you've already become a Netflix star.
Oh, stop it.
Well, let me ask you, if you don't mind talking business, shop, or whatever, however you say it, everyone's been talking about how great you came off in this Netflix special about
Hulu. It's on Hulu.
I'm sorry.
Oh, darn. Sorry.
This Hulu special that that covers the trial that you attended in Indiana. Give me the name of the joint, the name of the show.
It's Delphi, Indiana.
Delphi, Indiana. And the show was called "Who is the Delphi Killer" or something like that.
Yeah, I don't.
She doesn't even know.
I don't know. I don't know the title, but
I'm just in it.
Ashley and everyone says my wife watched it and said you were terrific. Have you been getting a lot of phone calls over the deal?
Yeah, a lot of people asking about the case.
Well, cool.
So that's kind of it.
Who was it?
Who was what?
The Delphi Killer.
Oh, well, I don't know. I didn't watch
on who you ask, right?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, right on.
But I mean, who's the guy they got? What's his name again?
So his name is Richard Allen, and I'm going there again this week. So he's getting sentenced on Friday.
So they're going to keep you there for 3 months again.
Oh, you're going to go see all your old pals.
I'm so sorry.
They're not going to keep you again for 3 months,
I
right?
hope not.
When are you planning to come back? I mean, did you already have
It's Christmas weekend.
Look at Randy.
Christmas.
But it's
Don't you think they can sentence the guy without you there?
Probably. I'm sure they can.
It's weird that you have to go, and you probably don't want to say anything disparaging about whoever's sending you there, but that's awful odd that you got to be there for that.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a weird time to do a sentencing, right? I mean, the judge sets the date, but...
Your sentence is death. Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas. Yeah. Well... Everyone says great things about your performance.
I know you won't say anything, but you did a great job. And I mentioned this before. You way undersold how much you rented and how well you did.
Well, I still haven't watched it. I'm so embarrassed, and I just
And I shouldn't even call it a performance because I know you weren't trying to put on a show. You're just doing your job, and people said great things about it.
Well,
she says, "Well, I kind of was."
Yeah, she's talking like Shakespeare. Just flowery language.
Hey, everything worked out all right for the Vikings last night on Monday Night Football. They beat the Chicago Bears pretty handily. They've won 7 straight ball games, and now they set Randy Shaver tied with the Detroit Lions for first place in the NFC North Division, both clubs with a 12-2 record.
Well, technically not tied because the Lions hold the tiebreaker at this point, but if the Vikings can win out, obviously they'll win the division. And I mean, the goal here is to get the number 1 seed. That's the goal, because if you can earn that, then you've got home field throughout, and that's a definite advantage. I will say, I thought the game turned last
was
night.
as boring as all hell. Because if that was your statement, I'd agree with you. I couldn't make it through that game.
Yeah, it wasn't exciting, and the Vikings didn't particularly play well. But the Bears, the big lineman who forgot to report and ended up playing the fullback position, and they score a touchdown, and then there's a penalty called because he didn't report himself eligible. That kind of turned the tide of the game, because if Chicago scores a touchdown there, now they're within a touchdown for the lead, and who knows at that point what might have happened. There's plenty of time left in the game, but then they just bumbled their way to a field goal, and, instead of a 13-7, it was 13-3, and that kind of, let the Vikings off the hook in a lot of different ways, and then they just kind of piled on after that.
It's funny you say that because we had a conversation earlier where not just in last night's Bears game, but in a few prior Vikings games, the opposition, who usually is a club that no one's really terribly afraid of, Jacksonville, Chicago, who are some others? Tennessee. These other clubs have had opportunities to turn to alter the ball game and cause the Vikings to panic a little bit and change their game plan, but they keep stepping on their own dongs. And the Bears certainly did that a time or two last night. They screwed the pooch. They're a decent team on defense, not a polished team on offense, and you saw signs of that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Vikings certainly, I mean, they won the game, and that's all that matters, and that's all that people care about at the end. However, I just don't think they were very much in sync offensively, certainly not in the first half. And, you know, there was the one drive for a touchdown where they ran the ball like 7 times, and Aaron Jones was really good, and that kind of sealed the deal. I think it made it 20-3 at that point or whatever. But, I mean, I came away from the game not really super impressed by overall by what I saw.
No, I hear
you. However, I think some of that is due to the competition. And I think that when you're in December, it really doesn't, I mean, it's just all about winning now. It's not about, yes, you want to be better than what you were the week before, no doubt. But it's really all about winning now. It doesn't matter how it gets done. It just needs to get done. And that's what they did last night.
Check out the Bears here, Randy Shaver. The Bears have lost 8 games in a row, and in their last 3 games, they've been outscored 53-0 in the first half.
Yeah.
Wow.
I looked this up. I looked this up. Week 6. The Vikings were 5-0. The Lions were 5-1. The Packers and the Bears were both 4-2.
Yeah,
that was week 6. And now you go what? Yesterday was week 15, and the Bears are still at 4 wins. I mean, that's how fast things can change. And
the wheels are coming.
What a mess it's been. And I thought Chicago looked. I mean, just the mistakes they made last night were just stupid, dumb mistakes. They're just not a very good football team.
They could use a solid head coach,
right,
to keep them in line.
I thought they were supposed
they're not
to have,
well coached.
I thought they were supposed to have like one of the best defenses this year.
Well, their defense isn't terrible.
They're not terrible.
They have failed my fantasy league for me. I dropped them weeks ago. I
would say their defense is probably their best asset.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely,
it's their only asset.
In all honesty, yeah,
it's really their only asset. So,
I know my wife is just the opposite of my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law is passionate about the Twins, and my wife is passionate about the Vikings. I had to go check on her last night in the room, man, and found out that's how boring that game was. She fell asleep. I found her asleep, because I was out in the bed. I was like, I'm not watching this game. It's going to be a bad game, so I'm watching a movie.
Was she so quiet that you got...
the first half, she was like, go, get him! And she was like, oh, Justin! He dropped a touchdown pass.
Yes, he did.
And that's the last I heard of her.
Second half, dead quiet.
I went in there and second half. She was just not dead quiet. She was dead asleep.
Yeah.
That game put her to sleep.
Well, when you look at the score, it seems like it might have been more entertaining, but Nick's right. That was boring.
No, not really.
And even with the lead, you're still nervous. Like, I think the Bears are going to come back here. Just didn't look
any minute now.
Well, they did the last time they played them.
They did.
So
right.
There was support shown for Randy Moss last night. You had Chris Carter and Jake Reed go out to midfield for the coin toss with a Randy Moss jersey in hand. Justin Jefferson, when he caught his touchdown pass, he shouted out to Randy into the camera, telling him he loves him and all that stuff. Randy Moss, in case you haven't heard, he's not feeling so well these days. He's battling cancer, so that was nice to see folks doing their thing.
Shout out to Randy Moss after the touchdown.
Vikings are at the Seattle Seahawks this Sunday afternoon. And so, talking about the division, and now the Vikings are 12-2, so are the Lions. Okay, fine, the Lions on the tiebreaker right now because they beat the Vikings earlier in the season. What's really been interesting is suddenly after Sunday, you go around the internet and look at sports websites. For the first time in a long time, I'm seeing article after article talking about how the Detroit Lions are in big trouble. critical
articles.
Articles being very critical of Dan Campbell, talking about how the party's over for the Lions.
Well, we talked about this yesterday. Their defense is in trouble. And it's not because they're playing terrible. It's because they're hurt. And they've lost like 8 starters off their defense since the beginning of the year because of injuries, which is just amazing. But it was amazing that they could patchwork their way to a 48-45 game or whatever it was against Buffalo, because they're just so decimated by injuries. Then they lose David Montgomery. He's out for the year with a knee injury. That doesn't help their running game because he's been a steady influence for them. And then, I think the discussion about Dan Campbell, he tries an onside kick in this game when he's down by 10. I just think that Dan Campbell needs to kind of get out of his own way here, because he's trying to be something that I don't think his team needs him to be. I don't think they need to be the Maverick where they're going to do...
That's a great way to put it.
Fourth down play. They don't need to try to do... They're a good football team. They don't need to do that stuff to be a winning football team and to be a Super Bowl team. Honestly, they don't need that. What they need right now is somebody with a steady hand and a general manager who can somehow find players that can help their defense be at least somewhat effective. They're going to have to do what the Chiefs used to do early in their success, and that was just flat out outscore everybody.
I agree with that. Was a great way to put it. They don't need him to be this cowboy outlaw, I'm going to do what I want to do type coach anymore. That was a character they needed when he first got the job. I think that team and the fans needed to see this guy who was going to say, you know what, F it, F the Packers, the Bears, and the Vikings. We can be that team in the division. But if there's... And obviously, the guy's done a great job, and his team loves him.
Yes.
But if there is one weakness for Dan Campbell, is he can't help but still try to prove to everyone the size of his Johnson.
Right.
And he does this silly onside kick with 12 minutes to play, and it backfires like a sumbitch. But it's just, I can't help but feel bad for the Lions. I really can't, because this is played out perfect. Don't
feel bad for him yet, though, Nick, because there's still 3 games left.
I understand that.
They're going to make the postseason. They're going to get their chance, and crazier things have happened. I'm not discounting Detroit at all, because I think they're a good enough football team that they can overcome a lot of different things. I just think, personally, in watching him, Dan Campbell, he now needs to be more like Kevin O'Connell. Yeah. He now needs to have that personality of just soak everything in, make good decisions, put your guys in the right place, let them do what they're supposed to do their job, and just kind of get out of the way a little bit and let them do what they do.
Right,
and
no question.
I think they'll be fine, but
I don't know if they'll be fine.
It's a tremendous amount of injuries to overcome on one side of the football. There's no doubt.
On the way up, we're going to bite a kneecap off.
Yeah, he as we say in the hood, he be doing the most, and he need to do the least. You know what I mean? You're doing too much.
Is that how they say it in the hood?
That's how we say it in the hood.
He need to do.
He doing the most.
He's doing the most, and he need to do the least.
I've never heard the second part before.
Right.
I love that.
But because at the end of the day, I agree with you, Randy, and I think Dan Campbell. I mean, you're right. When they first started out, that's what they needed. But now, everybody know who you are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We get it. You're an outlaw.
Yeah, just be that guy and just stand there and let those guys play and be there to back them up, just like Tomlin does over there in Pittsburgh.
Yep.
You're a tough guy. Everybody gets it. Everybody knows that when it goes down, you got their back.
Right.
We know that you're going to fight for it, but you don't need to be doing all this.
I think the conversation, C. Willi, has kind of been like, he seems a little desperate. Desperate in the sense that he knows that his defense is so decimated right now that really kind of the only way this team might be able to do something in the playoffs significantly, they're going to have to just flat out outscore everybody.
Right.
And that's
I would try some performance-enhancing drugs.
That's not a recipe
get you some.
for success.
I think they're doing that already.
How about this? This is a good way to put it, too. 2 pumps and a squeeze Jesus texted in on Dan Campbell, always, always trying to prove, hey, look, I'm not like the other coaches. Yeah, we get it. 2 pumps and a squeeze Jesus says it's like using a sledgehammer to hang up a painting.
There you go.
You're overdoing it at times.
Yeah, you're doing the most.
But let me go back to this now. And I know homers are going to disagree with me because it's just like, yay, Vikings, and that's all they, care about. I get that. But if these injuries really ends the Lions' chances, that would be a real shame, in my opinion. All the misery they've been through over how many years, and it's played out perfectly. You almost see it play out like this every time. A young up-and-coming team gets to the NFC title game. Sure, they get waxed beyond recognition, but then the following year, they finally get there. And it's played that way out for the Lions up until Sunday, and suddenly, oh, no, it's friggin' over?
Right.
That would be an interesting story. No, Randy, I get it. I'm not counting them out. I'm saying if the injuries are the end of this ball club, it's I can imagine Lions fans would think, wait, we never got our chance. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but not getting there because of injuries is different than not getting there because of talent or mistakes. I mean,
why you always got to complicate things?
Detroit's window for success after this year is still really wide open.
Of course it is.
So I think that they've got a lot of great years ahead of them. They've built a really good football team, and they really just need to tweak a few things. And, quite honestly, the Vikings have built a really good football team too. So
what the Vikings have done is come out of friggin' nowhere. That's what they've done.
Well, I mean, they've come out of nowhere based on Sam Darnold. I think Sam Darnold has played
they got lucky.
exceptionally well. And because of him, this franchise has really taken off. And, you got to give Brian Flores credit for the defense and everything, too. But Sam Darnold has been the reason why.
Man, medical device Jesus, who's a Michigan guy, he just can't help himself when we start talking about...
He's a Michigan State guy, by the way.
Well, the state of Michigan is what I reference. Are we going to have a problem today, Randy?
No.
Sounds like it. I'm here for it.
He loves it when we get into these conversations. Well, first off, Randy Shaver, he said, I didn't realize the Lions are the only team in the NFL with injuries.
No, that's not true.
Come on, dude. This is a little more than average.
Right.
Come on. And then on the topic of the Lions, if this is where the party stops, when all the Lions fans are just they've been thinking all year long, this is finally our shot. Medical device Jesus says, if they fail, I think it would be hilarious. Most Lions fans are stupid University of Michigan fans.
Wow.
So F them.
Wow.
Love him.
He can't help it.
Man, he went hard.
That's what he does.
Is there a chance that we're going to get lucky here with this Patrick Mahomes high ankle sprain? And what I mean is get lucky where the Chiefs might not win another Super Bowl, because it's time to face facts. There isn't one living soul on earth outside of Missouri who wants to see the Kansas City Chiefs win another Super Bowl.
I think there's a lot of people who would love to see Buffalo get into the Super Bowl. With the way Josh Allen is playing right now, with the way that team is playing right now, to me, they're the team to watch for the AFC. Them in Baltimore, I mean, Lamar Jackson's having a tremendous year, but I think everybody's so focused right now on what Josh Allen has done the last few weeks and what Buffalo is doing that, and the fact that, Mahomes likely will not play this next game and may not play the game after, because they're 2 games within 5 days of each other or 6 days or whatever.
The high ankle sprain.
He seems to get it every single year.
It's a fairly common injury, but they say this one's not good.
He's lucky he didn't break his leg. Mm-hmm. The way he got mangled in that hit was really awkward. I don't know if you saw it, but it was.
No, I didn't.
He was bent like a pretzel. It was not pretty.
I refuse to watch Kansas City Chiefs on television ever again. Janel Klein and C Willi Myles, go ahead. Feel free to tell your high ankle sprain stories. C Willi played football, no high ankle sprain.
I never had a high ankle sprain.
Can't sprain an ankle on the bench.
Wow!
Wow!
You're talking about you.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Because I was. Don't mean
C. Willi was like, what?
Yeah,
What? I thought you said.
Let me go.
I totally thought you
Let me go and pull out my VHS tapes.
You can if one of the more talented players trips over your ankle.
That's possible. As they're rushing into the game,
Yeah.
I'm sitting there.
They're
That's
blowing
true.
past you.
Great point.
I had a dislocated wrist.
Yeah.
Which we snapped back into place.
Sure.
Ouch.
Oh.
Yeah.
You do what you got to
still
do.
Played. Yeah, it was.
Get C. Willi on the field.
I couldn't hold as much as I usually do.
Oh, did that make an interesting sound, C. Willi?
Yes, it did.
Oh.
You don't hear it on the outside, you hear it on the inside. That's what the trainer told me. He said, it's going to sound loud, but only you can hear this, Willie. I'm like, wait, what? Hold on a second.
Man.
I said, I'm going to count to 3, and I should have known better. I've seen him do this 1,000 times, and he does it on 1.
Does it on 2.
That's funny.
That's how our parents used to pull our teeth.
Yep.
Yep.
When they pulled our baby teeth, they'd tell you they were going on 3, but they go on 1. Bastards. I wanted certainly to get C. Willi Myles' take on this, being a football guy. We talked about this character a couple days ago, a kid by the name of Devondre Campbell, a former Golden Gopher football player who quit on his team the other day, playing for the San Francisco 49ers. A linebacker, that's the position he plays. He is butthurt that he's not a starter. Wah, I'm a bench player. I'll only come in once in a while. This guy's supposedly a professional and a grown man. So when the other linebackers are injured, they say, okay, Devondre Campbell, you're in. He refuses to go in because he's so upset about not being a starter. The Niners have suspended him and this and that. I just wanted your thoughts, C. Willi Myles, on a ball player who just says, no, I'm not going in.
Yeah, that was just stupid.
Mm-hmm.
There's no excuse for that. I mean, you're a paid professional. The guy that you're playing behind is a great player. What's his name?
Greenlaw.
Yeah. I mean, he's epic, and he just he's better than you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
No, you got to wake up. Yeah,
you're an impact player. You're really good, but you're not consistent. You know what I mean? And to walk out on your team like that, I mean, all you're doing is making it hard for your agent to get you another gig because you will get cut. You will be waived.
Yeah.
He said he didn't want to play today.
During the game or before?
No, it was in the third quarter. One person making like Mooney said, a selfish decision, and I'm with Mooney on that. And I've never been around anybody that's ever done that, and I hope I'm never around anybody that does that again.
Was that, what's his nuts, the long-haired...
yeah, that was Kittle and
Dang.
Kyle Shanahan talking about it.
Phil Kettle, whatever
George
the hell his
Kittle.
name.
Phil Kettle.
Kettlebell.
Ron Kittle.
It's not Ron Kittle.
Former White Sox power hitter Ron Kittle there commenting on the...
Got his take on it.
Never going to be around him.
In the end, this Campbell kid is going to lose around $850,000.
Oh my God.
It's just not worth it.
Stupid.
What are you doing?
It just doesn't make any sense. It
They
really doesn't.
suspended him instead of cutting him, and there's financial implications to that. But here's my favorite part. The team could have just told him to go home and released him. But since he's suspended, it keeps him from landing on another ball club.
Right.
Yeah.
Where he might start, and the Niners didn't want to give him that opportunity. Good for them.
You know why? Why give him what he wants?
Right.
You know, make him pay for what he did to your team by keeping him on that team until the season is over.
Yeah.
And then let him go and figure that out. Let him kind of wallow in it a little bit. And, you know, I haven't heard any sort of response from him. I haven't seen anything, nor heard any reason why. Or
why he refused to go into the ball game?
Well, I mean, I understand he was upset that he wasn't the starter.
I think it was as simple as that.
Yeah, they moved him down the depth chart.
But, you know, normally when something like this happens, you'll hear a day later, 2 days later, a guy he'll have remorse and he'll say, you know what, this was bad decision by me. I haven't heard him say anything. I haven't seen anything.
I would imagine that's coming. It might not be this week or next week. Maybe it'll be 6 months, maybe before next football season.
And that'll be his agent telling him, get out there and say something, because
hopefully
this is not going to help your future.
Hopefully Devondre Campbell, or whatever his name is, hopefully deep down and legitimately, he comes out and says, look, I'm a jackass. I got my emotions got the better of me. I hope we don't just hear from his agent, but
this may be one of the cases of Dave Chappelle, when keeping it real goes wrong. Yeah, he kept it too real, you know. Sometimes you can be standing on business and then realize that your business is crumbling. You know what I mean? Like you just do stuff out of emotions. You know? Right. And that's, you know, and not I mean, but the fact that the guy's he's a good linebacker. He's really good.
I mean,
very talented.
And it's, you know, it's an emotional game.
It is.
I mean, you know, there's a lot of pride involved in these guys and in what they do. And
arrogance.
Arrogance, too. Yeah. I mean,
so you can, bit of that to play linebacker.
You can certainly understand why you would feel the way you feel, but you are a professional. And when you're asked to play and do, it's not like they asked him to go sit down. They asked him to go play.
Yeah.
And
it's a team
that's what
game.
You get paid to do.
It's a team game. That's the one thing is you take one for the team. And, you know, sometimes you got to sit there. You know, I don't know what that's like, but.
No.
Janelle does.
Janelle, can you
Maybe
explain
I
that
could
to
have
me?
a talk with him.
Well, Janelle, you could have been a starter.
If I'd played for, like, Owatonna instead of Faribault, you mean?
Well, what I'm saying
Faribault had
is.
a good squad?
Wait a minute now. Don't disparage Owatonna.
I'm not saying anything bad about Owatonna.
I love
No,
it.
I'm saying Janelle.
Oh, I know.
I could have been a starter if I played for Owatonna.
If you would have gone
Hall of Fame.
If you would have gone to a high school with a lesser talented basketball team like Owatonna, you could have been a starter.
Remember, Janelle, you have to drive through Owatonna to get to Faribault.
Hey, I'm doing a show down in Faribault. I'm going to bring that up.
Here's where I'm going with this. Yeah. Janelle, you could have been the greatest basketball player in Faribault High School history. You had a court in your backyard and you never played.
I understand
That's
that.
true. I forgot this part of the story, which I need to include now because I have to make a full confession. Not only did I have a full basketball court in my backyard, and I was 5'10", my dad at one point was the high school girls
Jimmy
basketball
the
coach.
Crickets.
Janelle,
It was all there for you.
have you talked to your dad about this ever? Does he ever say, like, I really wanted you to play basketball? Did you not pick up
How
the
much
hammer?
do you hate your father?
Yeah, he has a couple beers on Christmas. It all comes out.
I hope you guys have patched this up since then.
Well, my sister did the same. But we were...
Oh, don't pass
What do you mean your sister did the same? She also ignored basketball?
Yes, and is also the same height. But listen, we're just, I mean, really, really, really bad athletes.
No. You didn't have no brothers?
No brothers.
Man, I feel for your father.
I know.
He
I
just thought, man, okay, I don't have a son, but I got a couple of sticks here for girls.
Tall daughters.
Put a hoop in the backyard.
I don't think you'd ever shared that with us before.
I kind of forgot. He was the coach.
Repressed memories.
I mean, not when I was in high school, but like early on in his career.
He was a basketball fan.
Yeah.
And so he put that court into the yard, I mean, for a reason.
He built it for you, Janelle.
Well, my parents bought the house with the basketball court in it.
Okay.
But
there was a reason.
There was a reason.
He was a coach.
Yeah.
Well, that's so
my
you could have been Janet Carvin in part 2.
Oh my God.
Totally.
Yeah.
He's saying if we buy it, they will play.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he said.
And you guys just sat there staring out the window at that lonely ass basketball court.
Well, I said we did do chalk drawings.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just tumbleweed blowing by.
That's great
Dad's
stuff.
got his old whistle out there.
That is hilarious.
Tear running down his eye.
And here I grew up, and we had a wooden backboard. We had an old bicycle rim for a hoop.
Yeah.
You know, you couldn't even dunk and hang on it, man. You had
My
to drop
folks
it in
bought
there.
us that cheap-ass, huffy backboard and basket, you know. Put it up on top of the garage, and the garage wasn't that tall.
Jeez,
but, I mean, I could, when it came to hoops,
Right.
I could smoke my twin brother. I could.
Oh.
Football, hockey, he had the size advantage. And I'm not going to sit here and say that I could smoke my brother at football and hockey. But basketball, I had his ass owned right from the get-go. And he hated it. He hated it because I was draining jump shots and he was stumble-effing around the driveway. But then two of my mom's brothers came over, got drunk, and had a dunk contest, tore it off the garage, and my folks never put a new one back up.
Wow.
Oh,
My basketball career ended right there.
That's family fun. You could have been great.
I could have been great. Could have been Janet Carvin in part 2, part 3. After
Right.
Is this the liquor talking now, or have there been like 11 movies and documentaries made already about the life of John Madden? Why does it seem...
There's been a couple things. The Madden video game recently was one.
Okay.
And there was another one that's in the works.
Yeah, there was just a documentary not too long ago.
Yeah, a documentary and now the movie.
Okay, so this is going to be the first movie?
Yes.
Okay, coming up soon, there's going to be a movie about the life of John Madden. Playing John Madden, I think we covered this. C. Willi Myles and Janel Klein. Have you heard who's playing John Madden in the movie about his life?
No, I have not.
Would you like to guess what a very famous actor
Well, I'd be shocked if you got this.
Does he look like him?
No.
Not at
I
all.
would go with...
It's a strange pick, if that helps you at all.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I was thinking... I can't say his name right now, but he was Roseanne's husband.
Oh, John
Goodman.
John Goodman.
I'll give you a hint. Let's go get Nathan Jr. The answer is Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage will be playing John Madden.
What?
Yeah.
I think that was most people's reaction.
Why? Why?
We don't know why.
Do anything.
Because he's available, I would imagine.
Well, I imagine
hate that.
he must be going to be executive producer. That's kind of what he does.
Is that right? I don't know that.
Yeah, smart.
Is he?
I'll have to look that up. Yeah.
I bet he is.
Okay, so Nicolas Cage will be playing John Madden. I'll understand it when I see it.
He's a method actor.
He's a meth actor, I think.
Oh, maybe that's what I meant.
I think he smokes.
I might have misread that.
Playing late Oakland Raiders owner Al Davis. Some of you remember Al Davis. Maybe the younger people do not.
Yeah.
Playing Al Davis will be Christian Bale.
Oh, isn't he also a method actor?
Method actor?
very much so.
Yeah.
Oh,
He'll do a good job.
you guys are being serious?
Yeah.
When you're
Yeah.
He'll be good.
Yeah, he'll be
what
great.
does it mean again to be a method actor?
You
Well,
get
they-
really into character.
They get really into the character. I mean, they study their mannerisms and then they
He's got the
stay in the
grease back
character.
hair. He'll be good.
Yeah, and they'll stay in character the whole time.
Neither one of them, I mean, maybe it doesn't matter, but neither one of them resemble the character they're going to play at all.
That's what bothers
It's
me.
hard to resemble John Madden.
Right.
Yeah, hard to resemble Al Davis, too, I
Yeah,
guess.
he'll put on some weight, and then Christian on Bell, he'll do his hair, and then
He's got the hair, I'll give him that.
He does look like people that if he's doing a real life person, he kind of resembles them a little bit.
I guess, yeah. Makeup artists
Yeah.
are so talented now.
They are.
Could probably make anyone look like anyone.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe, maybe it shouldn't trouble me as much, but I do really prefer
I do, too.
the actor to resemble. I mean, that Queen movie, what was that called again? Bohemian Rhapsody?
yeah. Absolutely.
Wow.
It
Rami
was-
Malek.
The dude who played Freddie Mercury, don't get me wrong, he was good. He was very good. But the dude who played Brian May,
Yes.
un-effing believable how perfect his mannerisms, his delivery, his build, everything. I know everyone swings from that Rami Malek's jock over his portrayal.
Oh, he was awesome.
He was. But the dude who played Brian May, friggin'
You're right.
eerie.
You're absolutely right.
So there you go. Check out the, John Madden movie. Tonight, Randy Shaver, the University of West Virginia, and Memphis University play in the Frisco Bowl.
Who you got?
8 o'clock on ESPN. In the coming days, we will get the Boca Raton Bowl. And Josh tried to explain this to me the other day, and I can't wrap my head around it. The La Bowl?
No, it's L.A. Bowl.
The L.A. Bowl.
Yeah, like Los Angeles.
The La Bowl.
Real quick, back to that Vikings game last night and how some of us, including C. Willi Myles' wife, were bored to tears by the ball game. Randy Shaver wanted to make sure I ran this by you. So I couldn't hang in there for the entire Vikings game. It just was painful. So I started flipping around.
to the Michael Bublé holiday special.
He taped that one.
Yeah. No spoilers for him, Janelle.
Did I miss something?
Yeah.
Last night on television was what again?
The Michael Bublé holiday special.
How was it?
It was great. I was watching it during halftime.
I bet you and my mom were, and you were probably the only two.
That's probably true.
He sang you some holiday songs?
Indeed he did.
Special guests?
There were many. I didn't see all of them, but, Do
you have his holiday CD?
I
his
don't.
Christmas
I
one?
should.
No.
I should. But anyway.
I've heard the name out loud. I don't know what it means to be Michael Bublé. What kind of music does he sing for me?
Big band.
He's a crooner.
Yeah,
he's a crooner.
Yeah.
A crooner. Oh, so he was like, the weather outside is damn frightful. And it's kooky kind of sightful. That whole.
Oh, I love it.
Does he refer to things as kooky and ooky? Yeah. Nutty? Does he say nutty? That nutty fire.
Right.
That kind of a thing.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Exactly. He's a Canuck, too, isn't he?
Yeah, he's pretty good with the hockey stick here in the video.
He plays
when
the
he gets
sport of...
mad, does he call you a crumb bum?
That guy's a crumb bum, see? He'll never be on my special, see?
Crumb bum.
Oh, my God.
Like the old '60s singers, Sinatra and the guy with all the drinks in him,
Dean
Martin.
Dean Martin.
Just the other day, I heard a Dean Martin friggin' Christmas song. He was singing about Rudolph, right? And of course, at some point in the song, because you got to be kooky and hip,
right.
he doesn't say Rudolph. He refers to him as Rudy.
Oh, cute. They're buddies.
Rudy's coming down the line. Whatever the hell. I can't think of the song now. But.
Shibab.
Right. Those guys just raked in millions of dollars with that routine.
And just trash singers. Making up words.
Oh, yeah. That kooky little Rudolph. All right, Randy Shaver. Got bored last night during the ball game. I did not tune into Michael Bublé. Oh, my God. We're out of time here. But I thought you really appreciate this. I turned on the Major League Baseball Network. And
Good.
Yes.
Hot stove?
No. I know you like that stuff. That doesn't hold me for very long.
Nick, I watched all last week. Winter meetings. I can't help myself. I love baseball winter meetings. It's
I know
crazy.
you do. I know you do. Here's what I watched. They were rolling through, not all in one night, but they've done this many times in the past where they get Bob Costas and some other schmuck, and then usually an 81-year-old ball player who was involved in the game, and they count down the top 20 baseball games ever. Okay?
Oh.
So
fun.
last night was the 20th greatest baseball game of all time. It was from May of 1979 at Wrigley Field. It was Cubs-Phillies, where the final score in this ball game was Chicago Cubs 21, Phillies 19.
Oh, dang.
Dave
The
Kingman.
wind was blowing out at Wrigley.
It was. Your old homeboy Dave Kingman, Randy Shaver.
Yeah, with the Cubs.
3 dongs in the ball game.
Yeah.
One
what
of
did
them.
Mike Schmidt do?
One of them hit a house across the street on Waveland.
On Waveland, yes.
So it was this historic game where by the end of the third inning, it was like 14-1 Philadelphia. Just insane. And by the end of the game, it was 21-19. Pete Rose was out there. I don't think
Mike Schmidt.
If he was in the lineup, maybe he had the day off. I don't remember seeing Mike Schmidt, but
he's ticked.
Pardon me?
I bet he was ticked.
Yes.
He could have had about 4 dingers.
There you go. All right, Randy Shaver, we got to go. But of course, we've had a blast, and tomorrow's another day. Another damn day.
Just another day. That's all it is.
All it is to you anymore, for Christ's sake.
Is tomorrow Sunday?
Yes.
Love it, Sheriff.
Jerk. Go to church. We'll talk to you later, Randy.
See ya.
All right. C Willi Myles and Janel Klein will be sticking around. We'll be back with more here in a few minutes.
There's a douchiness to them. The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Standard Heating and Air Conditioning wants to wish you a happy holiday season and wants to let you know that Standard Heating is ready if you face a heating emergency. Their expert team is available through the holidays to make sure you stay warm and safe, no matter what. Become a Smart Club member so that you'll have peace of mind knowing that you're covered for the upcoming winter season. For more info or 24/7 emergency heating services, call 612-824-2656. Comfort you deserve since 1930.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are the things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Visit Progressive.com to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states or situations.
O'Shea Jackson Jr. and TJ Jefferson bring their unique take on sports entertainment with no contest wrestling, with guests like WWE Hall of Famer Eric Bischoff.
You are an excellent villain.
No, I appreciate that.
Did that ever just kind of wear on you sometimes?
The only time it got difficult is when they weren't doing loudly enough. As long as I could get the crowd to hate me, that means we were making money and we were doing things right. So the more the better.
The No Contest Wrestling Podcast, part of the Rich Eisen Podcast Network, wherever you listen.
KARE 11's Janel Klein.
This is the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
And C Willi Myles. Welcome back to the program. 8:34, hell of a deal. So much fun with C Willi Myles and Janel Klein hanging around here. We thank both of you for stopping by.
Always great to be in here with you guys, man.
Absolutely.
Always great.
Yeah, we feel the same way. If you don't mind me raining compliments on the both of you, both
Love
of you,
it.
you do. You I've seen both of you operate, and I feel like both of you are great with people. And your occupations almost demand it, Janel. You have to go off and work for this television channel and that television channel. You're working with new people a lot. Sometimes 3, 2, 1, you got to go live with a complete stranger, right? Like the camera guy, right?
And interviewing people at some of the worst times of their lives, so you have to be affable and likable enough for them to talk to.
That's a great example. You got to be good. See, Willi Myles, you're going to this club, that club, working for this guy, working for that gal.
Yeah.
Impressive. You got to be good with people.
Absolutely.
I was reading a new thread online here, if that's the proper terminology. People are suggesting jobs that are perfect for people who don't like people. If you don't deal well with different people, strangers, whatever it might be. Jobs that are perfect for people who don't like other people. I struggle with other people at times. I do. I have a hard time. I have a hard time liking people right away. But I try
new people.
New people. I try my best.
You've got, because the friends you've had, you're very good with, obviously, and not that you're ever bad with people, but new people you don't warm up too quickly.
No, Josh falls in love quite easily.
Yes, very much.
He does.
Yes, very quickly. I give people a lot more than maybe at times they've earned.
Same.
But I guess specifically we're talking about work. So I think we all maybe make a little bit of an extra effort because this is what you friggin' do for a living. This is how you pay the bills. You got to get along. But here are some gigs for people who just don't like other people. So obviously these are going to be the type of operations where maybe you find yourself alone a lot of the time. Part of the reason why I loved my job driving a Zamboni so much is I was the only guy in the building other than the teams and the coaches.
Right.
Yeah.
And I sat in that friggin' nice warm office and just every 45 minutes, reapity-deep, spin around the rink on the stupid Zamboni, put it back in the garage, go back to that. I like that alone time.
I couldn't do that.
I like being a part of a group, but you have your own thing. You know
like,
what I mean?
say, what's an example of that?
Well, this might be a good example. You know, like the majority of our work's really at home. You know, I like kind of having that focus and stuff, but it's nice to be a part of something.
Sure.
Or like a park ranger or something. You know, you're part of the group, but then you still have your area.
Well, let's see if park ranger comes into play. Great job for people who hate people. Power plant operator. Oh, I would screw that. I would screw that up bad.
Homer Simpson can figure it out.
Homer can do it.
Is that what Homer Simpson does for a
I don't
living?
think he runs it, though.
Most of us.
Nothing.
Now, with every entry here, there's someone who actually has this specific operation. That isn't the word occupation. It's someone who has this specific occupation with a comment on it. So power plant operator, most of the time we're sitting in a room at a control panel that auto fixes itself 99% of the time. That doesn't sound bad at all.
No.
Delivery driver Shiza said she loves being a delivery driver. For that reason, rarely deals with people. She's on her own, and the boss isn't breathing down her neck. Being micromanaged would be awful if your boss is there all the time.
The only job that I ever had where I was really ever alone was when I worked overnights at a gym. I mean, maybe like 2 people would come in, whatever, but you don't have to be a people person for that because they don't want to talk to you. And I was miserable. I hated it. I hated being alone. I needed somebody to talk to.
That sounds like the kind of gig where eventually you get molested.
Yeah.
It was a little sketchy, Nick. One time I did fall asleep because it's like, 3 a.m, and some stranger did take a picture of me.
Whoa.
That was weird. I didn't learn about it until like a week later.
You're right, though. That seems like it's so likely. If I did that job and wasn't molested, I'd wonder what was wrong with me. Why haven't I been molested yet?
Let's go through the top 5 jobs where you're likely to be molested.
That's one.
Easy. Another one that I did, being a server or bartender.
No, for sure.
Overnights at a gym. Every time you bring that up, I cannot help but picture just the shadiest people on planet Earth.
Yeah, who works out at 3 a.m. other than a perv?
Right.
I knew somebody that did that, and they said it was always bartenders and strippers that would come in after their shifts.
Oh, I didn't see any of that.
Dude, that's got to be the best case scenario.
Yeah.
Best case scenario.
Evil garbage man Jesus and a few other garbage men have checked in saying that it's perfect. The bosses leave them alone, and they're alone all day.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's true, because like you said, Josh, there's nothing worse than being micromanaged. I had a boss once that he would give us feedback during the show, constantly emailing us and texting us about what we were doing or what we talked about, how we can improve.
Was it at least nice hearing from your only listener? Really connect with your audience?
So you'd make comments like, that last comment you made was a little bit of a momentum killer.
Exactly.
You'd say things like that?
Yeah. It was awful.
All right, a job perfect for someone who hates people. Work at a morgue.
Oh, that'd be cool. I've always wanted to do that.
Oh, I don't know. That'd be kind of creepy.
Late at night, all by yourself. At least is the way the movies played them out. Right. Surrounded by dead carcasses, and then you hear a noise.
That's the thing. Any little noise, wouldn't you wonder?
Yeah. Well, you know what would happen?
Do dead bodies make noise?
Yes.
I wonder how...
There's gas.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
But maybe not, hours after days after they... I imagine that if I worked at a morgue, let's say I was in the dead body room, they're all out on the gurneys and whatnot, I would be convinced, if I worked too many hours in a row, I'd be convinced, oh, Christ, I just saw one of them move.
Yeah.
Well, that will happen.
I bet your dreams,
dead bodies
nightmares
move?
would be
Yeah,
trippy.
some of them
the
get a little twitch.
They get a little twitch?
Yeah. Or thaw out.
Yeah, when all their muscles relax or something.
And some of these are, wait a minute, what is this, 1688? What are you, lighthouse keeper? Is there actually someone sitting in 2024? Is there someone sitting in the lighthouse?
I don't know. Maybe.
Maybe not in 2020, but that used to be a cool gig.
Oh, yeah, I bet it was. I bet it was.
Can you bring a lady up there?
Yeah.
Wait, is it true, like the movies, did the lighthouse people, did they stay there too?
Yeah.
That's what I saw in the movies.
Yeah, they had a cot.
They had a cot. They had
a drafty window.
A radio. I don't know if they slept there. That's how they portray it in the movies. Okay, a lot of night shift type stuff, of course. If you hate people, you'd rather just be alone, and you got to make a living. The overnight security guard at a museum.
Oh, heck yeah. Night at the museum.
Ben Stiller.
Is that a real job?
That got a little chaotic for old Ben,
didn't it?
Never saw it.
Everything came to life.
That got weird.
It says here.
I was a night auditor at a hotel.
What did that...
That's a 11 to 7 gig. Overnight, you did... you tallied up all the day's work and open up shop the next morning.
How'd you like
for
that?
The day crew. I didn't do it very long. I was training at the hotel when one of my mentors owned a Holiday Inn in St. Cloud, several hotels. And he wanted me to learn everything about the hotel industry, and a lot of people don't know this, but I had a whole career in the hospitality industry while I was doing comedy as well.
There you go. I mean, talk about a people person. You were in the hospitality industry.
You're hospitable.
Yeah. And I used to always tell my staff, though, don't forget we're in the hospitality industry, not hostile hospitality. You've all checked into one of those hotels where they were kind of rude to you.
Oh, yeah.
That's a cute little slogan you came up with. What's? I mean, you must have fallen asleep at you.
No. So you really got you tally up the restaurant, the banquet bills, and the bar, and you run this whole ticker-tack thing at the end of the night, and you don't want to be off. If you off, you want to be off by like $50 or $100. If you're off by like 3 cents, you got to go through everything.
Yep, you're there. You have to do everything all over
and
again.
you can't start the day until you balance the night.
Well, and
the last thing you want to do is call your boss to come in and help you, because that sucker could find it in like a minute, because he's just a fresh set of eyes. But at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, you just have this person who's an insomniac would just walk through the lobby. So you didn't see people. You saw onesie, twosie people from, by the time the bar closes at 1 and 1:30, 2 o'clock, everybody is gone.
Yeah.
So you're the only person working at the hotel if you don't have a security guard.
Wasn't there a room upstairs where there was like an old lady in the tub and whatnot? Oh, that was The Shining. Forget it.
I didn't work at that property.
No.
Yeah, I wasn't that. That was a different one.
You must have been very good at arithmetic.
No. The machine did all the work, but math was like my worst subject.
And you'd only see 1 or 2 people all night long.
All night long. You would see, and then by 5:30, you start hearing rumblings. The elevator and people coming down to get that fresh, brand new coffee you just put out. And your job was to make coffee, too.
Did you ever hear people really going for it? You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. Back in the day, you used to have to slide the envelope underneath their bedroom. Underneath
like
the door.
Their bill?
Back in the day. So,
ba-boom,
ba-boom. You were hearing there, and it's like, oh, Lord.
There has been some times, C. Willi, where something has happened in the hotel room, and then I get up and I realize there's something like right by the door, and I'm like, oh no.
Exactly. Yeah.
Somebody was just here a minute ago.
The maid knocks on the door.
I've done that. I've done that a couple of times. I walk to a room and they're going at it pretty hard, and I knock on the door and say, hey, knock it out. Keep it down a little bit in there. I know you're doing work, but come on. People are sleeping.
How the hell are you so good at that?
One more gig.
There's no way you're that good.
Yeah, you explain this to me. I'm going to audit that.
She's faking.
KARE 11's Janel Klein.
This is the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
All right, here's what we've been covering in the last few minutes with Janel Klein and C Willi Myles, talking about the perfect jobs for people who hate people. And we talked about this, we talked about that. Here's a couple of text messages. Of course, a lot of it is overnight stuff. You're going to be alone most of the time. Driving jobs, of course, what do you need someone in the passenger seat for Christ's sake? You're taking this, that, and going this way with that. Here's a listener who says, I used to run heavy equipment in an underground sand mine.
Oh, dude. That sounds pretty
by
cool.
myself 11 hours a day. Found a dead guy down there one night, but my shift was over. He became somebody else's. Doggy daycare, a listener says, is a perfect job for people who hate other people. And that does sound nice, but, all those pets have owners.
Right.
And I bet some of them are kind of impossible about their pets, very specific. Princess can't go outside if it's warmer than 73.5 degrees. I imagine some of the pet owners might be difficult, but that's not a bad doggy daycare.
My brother used to do that, but he always, he never worked alone. He always had somebody else there because for the most part, you can't have like a certain amount of dogs to one person or whatever.
Oh,
yeah, the ratio's got to be there.
Yeah.
I was not aware of that stipulation.
In case they fight.
In the doggy daycare business. Okay, what else ended up in this report on jobs for people who hate people? Baking. The only con they say here is you have to wake up ass early.
Yeah, really, really early.
Truck driver, of course.
I had a brother-in-law, 35 years over the road.
Over the road.
Wow.
Truck driver, yeah.
My old man was also over the road his entire life.
Is that really a job for you if you hate people, though? Because you're dealing with other drivers all day.
No, you're not. How the hell are you dealing with other drivers all day?
Driving on the road?
Actually, another. But yes, a trucker texts that in, that exact same point you just made.
I thought you meant other truck drivers.
No.
I'm sorry. Well, of course, traffic. Yeah,
Because that would make me go, and that would make me hate people more than anything.
Yeah, like rush hour would be.
Well, but if you're over the road, once you get out of the city, you got all the alone time you could ever dream of.
That is true. I forget everywhere's not like here.
And he would pick up the phone and call, and he had nothing to do. He's driving, 4,000 miles. So
he'd call you.
He'd call and just talk because he knew I'd be home.
Mm-hmm.
He'd call the one If he called me, I know he tried to call his mom. She didn't answer. He called my wife. She didn't answer. I know I wasn't the first call.
That's hilarious. I know people where if I get a phone call from them, it's the same thing.
Right.
I'm down the list for sure.
I know I am. Not the first call, brother.
It's hilarious.
Josh, you're at the top of everybody's friggin' phone call list.
I don't think so.
You're my first call, Josh.
And I love it when you call. Although I'm always nervous when
He's
you
my
call.
first call on Monday. He's my first call on Mondays.
One of my dad's oldest truck driving buddies, they started driving together in 1961 or whatever. One of his oldest truck driving buddies, who's still around, he's still with us. He started off driving Greyhound buses.
Ooh, that would be brutal.
And it didn't last very long, and he got into hauling freight with my dad. My dad once said to him, well, why did you quit driving Greyhound buses and switch to driving freight? And the guy said, because freight don't talk back.
Oh, yeah. I thought he would say, because I just can't do any more time.
Happy Cappy Jesus.
Go back to prison.
Happy Cappy Jesus, who texts about doggy daycare, said there's a woman who only wants her dog to drink bottled water.
Oh, my goodness.
I have a friend like that. I got a friend like that.
Oh, man.
All right, how about I didn't imagine this would be in a report for jobs, the perfect jobs for people who hate people. A welder. I would think you are working in groups, but I must be wrong. Here's the comment on welding for a living. Most welders hate people. I am a welder myself, which is how I know.
Right.
So you're working alone a lot of the time?
Yeah. I have a nephew. That's what he does. He's a welder. Works right up there at the Long Haul, which is up in Clearwater now, I think.
Okay.
They just moved. But, yeah, that's what he does. He's like a skilled welder. Like, he'd be like he's one of those guys that can, he's at the top of the echelon of welders, whatever they call those people.
Oh, wow.
But he works alone. Like when them trucks come in, they have semi trucks. They have some problems,
Okay.
and then he's got to fix it. Only he can really do it. You
Okay.
know what I mean? And he would just go in there, and he's in there. It's hot. And he's in there by himself, and he just doesn't. And he is a very quiet and subdued
introvert.
Yeah, very, very much so. He doesn't want to be around a whole bunch of people.
How about a locomotive engineer, Cubby?
Yeah, I know someone who did that.
You honk the horn, you wave at the kids, and you say, F you, I'm out of this town. You know what I mean? You blow right past them.
That'd be so fun.
Yeah,
Absolutely loved it.
Is there another hobo on the train?
Now we're getting into the real hippy-dippy stuff here as far as jobs for people who hate people. Handcrafted soap maker. Jesus.
Okay.
Somehow that made the report. Enough people mentioned handcrafting soap to where it made the report.
Well, maybe if you're someone who handcrafts soap, just people stay away from you on their own.
I suppose. That's a good point. I don't know. Do you want to go talk to that guy? Why? Well, he's a handcrafting soap maker. No, maybe we'll just move on.
It smells good, though.
Cleaning offices overnights. I had the overnight janitor gig for a while when I was right out of high school, or after hours, I should say. And that, you put the Walkman on, you don't got to talk to anybody. And then one more here makes sense, I guess. A job for people who hate people, to be an assassin.
Oh, dream job.
That's the first job that came to mind, was an assassin.
An assassin. And it says here, some people...
Or executioner. Yeah, same
executioner. Some people suggested a career in... What the hell does HR stand for again, John?
Human resources.
Some people suggested a career in HR and insurance because that way you can make other people's lives more difficult.
Exactly.
If you really hate people, work in HR or insurance so you can make other people's lives difficult. That was one person's suggestion. That's not me talking.
We've learned if you see the HR representative in the boss's office, don't go in there.
Nope.
Yeah.
Run away.
Yeah.
Someone's about ready to die.
Matter of fact, pass out and go to the hospital. That's best case scenario.
And I saw a great meme that plays nicely into what we've been talking about this morning, your gig and dealing with other coworkers. This is great. The comment is, you can expect me to either work well with others or pass a drug test, but not both.
I love it. I love it.
Oh, man. We always have so much fun when you guys pop in.
Yeah.
So fun.
Such a blast.
Will this
You
be,
make it an easy day, that's for sure.
Oh.
will this will be the last time we see you before Christmas, I imagine? Although
Yes.
either one of you are welcome to walk in any day in the rest of our Ultimate F-Off week here. So if we don't see you, then Merry damn Christmas to the both of
Merry
you.
Christmas
Thank
to
you.
you guys.
You guys too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And all the awesome listeners, man. Always appreciate you guys always showing up for my shows and stuff. And
That's great to hear.
I really do appreciate it. And they're so bold to come up to me and tell me that God, like, and I know you guys think I'd be joking, but I seriously, 10 to 12 honks this morning.
Is that
as
right?
I'm driving in.
Honking at you.
Yeah. I mean, because I
You're
know
that
they're
bad of a
listening to the
driver?
show. Yeah. Absolutely I am. I don't mess around when I'm trying to get here in the morning. I don't have time to be using my signal and all that kind of stuff. You know where I'm going. You see the plate. Let me in. Let me in.
That's great that they honk and wave.
Yeah, they do. It's really nice. And they always come, hey, man, I hear you every morning on 93X. I go, no, you don't.
Not every morning.
Listening to me every morning. You're only waking up one day a week.
You're both in our hearts every morning.
That's for sure.
I know, and I haven't seen my buddy Janel Klein for, what the hell?
Janel Klein, what?
Yeah. I haven't seen her in like 3 months.
Well, she's been gone.
Trapped in Indiana.
Covered some terrible
I come
stuff.
here every Tuesday. She ain't her. And then when I am gone, then she shows up. It's almost like you avoided me. Somebody said.
She's something else. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you guys, and thanks for another great year. Love you all.
Love
Right
you
back
too,
at
Janelle.
you. Has to poop in Fleet Farm Jesus. Text in a happy 55th birthday. Shout out to his dad, who he calls the best dad in the world. Have a great Tuesday, everybody.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
Standard Heating and Air Conditioning wants to wish you a happy holiday season and wants to let you know that Standard Heating is ready if you face a heating emergency. Their expert team is available through the holidays to make sure you stay warm and safe, no matter what. Become a Smart Club member so that you'll have peace of mind knowing that you're covered for the upcoming winter season. For more info or 24/7 emergency heating services, call 612-824-2656. Comfort you deserve since 1930.